So this stream is going to be about me analyzing my own commentary. Again, I do this now and then. I haven't done it for a while, but I figured this is a good time because CEO is coming up later this week, and I kind of want to like get a little self-assessment of where I am and how it's been going. I mean, I'm thinking about this stuff all the time. It's not that I'm just doing it now when I stream, but you know, I thought that there's sort of more consequence if I analyze in public, like self-critically, right? If I feel like I'm going to be talking about when I suck in public, I'm going to try to suck less. That's my feeling about that. So let me say right off the bat, in answer to the question from Apostrophe, is that the things that I'm trying to change in my commentary they're not major. They're not major. It's maybe like a little, I want to expand a little bit without like changing fundamental stuff. It's never my goal to commentate in a way that doesn't feel natural to me. Yeah, I think that actually is a good way to phrase it. I'm in real life really silly, and if anything, it's that I can't take things seriously rather than that I'm too serious. But I felt in the past that my commentary doesn't really get that side of me across very well. On the Tuesday show, I think I show it. If there's like a small local stream, then I think that I show it. But if it's like a major, I feel that I am boring sometimes. And maybe not even boring with respect to like, am I excited? Because I feel like I'm often excited. It's more like I'm not getting the side of myself across that is the like sillier side. And that seems weird to me, like in retrospect. I was told by somebody who was thinking about hiring me for commentary that part of why they didn't is that they didn't feel that I was silly enough, that for this commentary that they felt that they needed somebody who was like, could mess around, and that I didn't do that enough. And I had been thinking about this. This wasn't the first time that I had like thought maybe I'd not getting that side of my personality across well enough. But then it kind of hit home more, and I told my friends about it and my family, and they were, first of all, they don't watch video games very often, so they don't like know how I commentate necessarily, but they thought that sounded so strange. Somebody thought that I wasn't silly enough. Like if anything, it's the opposite. So I want to get my personality across better. And in doing that, again, I don't feel that I'm doing something that's not natural to me. Instead, I think that I have let the sort of serious side of myself, which also exists, sort of take over too much, rather than having a better balance that actually is more natural to me. So I've been I feel, not being as natural as I could on the mic. That's how I feel. So that's one of the big things that I'm trying to do on commentary. Another set of the things is that I want to, as I've often felt for many years, I want to know where I'm going when a sentence starts. So when I'm talking, I don't want to do this kind of rambling jaunt over to the end of the point. Like I want to know where it's going to end up, because that has a big impact, I think, on how your commentary comes across. And not just commentary, but public speaking, whatever else you're doing. If you're searching for words too much, you're not going to be a good enough public speaker, right? It's going to feel weird and unnatural to the person listening. And on top of that, sometimes if you don't know where you're going to end up when you begin a sentence, you're going to end up in a place you didn't want to be. And that's happened to me sometimes when I feel like I've started a sentence and kind of not really known where it's going, and then ended up someplace that was just wrong. And wrong in factual ways. I would say something about the game that's wrong because I was searching for something to say and not just end the sentence in a weird spot. But what came out was not true, or what came out was not the right adjective to describe a situation or whatever. I mean, that's something that I definitely want to quit that as well. And the other thing is to control my voice better. I'm trying to do this just a lot more often. And Part of that is sort of like breathing techniques and singing style breathing techniques. In fact, James and I took lessons on that last year, and we didn't keep it up. We only went 2-3 times. But although I'm sure there's a ton that we did not get because we didn't keep going, the sort of base level stuff I feel is really helpful, and helpful not just in keeping my voice in a good spot, but also in sort of allowing me to concentrate better on what I'm gonna say, on what I want to say. So those are the things that I really want to do. And I think that I'll end up doing them, but I think that those are works in progress. And I don't think that I've gotten there all the way. So in the past, I definitely have brought out the sillier side of myself, but it's only with certain commentary partners, and Eris is definitely one of them. When I'm on the mic with Eris, I've known the guy for a long time. We've messed around a lot. I just feel like that's a very easy energy to be silly with. And one thing that I do on commentary is I try to mold myself to what I think the moment needs. Wow. Thanks for subbing, LL Paul B. Oh yeah, I turned these things on. Dang, that was actually pretty loud. Maybe I should turn that down a little bit. But, okay. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So there are some people who I feel that I can be silly around, and it's easy. And that's the case with all of my friends, but including my commentary friends. James, I'm silly around when we're not on the mic. Steven, Steve, all these guys, like I'm vicious. But on the mic, I don't know, I've had a harder time bringing that side of myself across. So they're easier people sometimes in some situations than others. That's my feeling anyway. So these are the ideas that I want to do in my commentary. And what I'm going to be doing here is looking at 2 separate events that I commentated this year, not very long apart. One was Texas Showdown, as you can see up on the thing here. The other one was Combo Breaker. Those were, 2 weeks apart? Or 3, maybe 2, I think. I think they were both in May. So that's not a lot of time difference, but Texas Showdown was the first one where I had tried to do some of these things, and I felt it went really badly. I haven't gone back and watched it yet. This will be my first time going back and watching it, but I kind of have an idea of how it's going to go, and it's not going to go well. I'm not going to take a look at Showdown or at either event for very long. I don't only have a couple hours to do this, and analyzing like one match could take a long time. I'm not going to be analyzing the match. I'm going to be analyzing myself on the mic as I called the match, if that makes sense. So it is also true that my co-commentator sometimes does play the silly part, and I automatically fill it in by being more serious, for sure. So for example, with James, he often is the sillier side. He'll be telling puns and he'll be telling jokes, and so I think it's true that my reaction to that is to play the straight man rather than to add to the jokes. But I think that I have gone too hard on that. I think that I've done that too much. So there have been many times in the past where James tells a pun that like I would laugh at in real life, but on the mic I kind of no sell. I don't know why. That has been my reaction to those situations. It doesn't need to be like that. And I think that it's better if it's not like that. I think it's better if, sure, I don't need to always feed into it. That's not a great idea. Constantly feeding into mess around, I feel like can go into a bad spot for bad commentary. But to do it sometimes is great. And even ask James. James will often say that I'm the real like pun master, or maybe that we both are, something like that, because I'm constantly telling stupid puns and jokes, but just not on the mic very often. So I want to do that. I definitely want to do that. Okay, Crispy, I think that's a fair point. You would rather people stop using phrases like 50-50 when it comes to mix-ups. It's almost always the case that options are weighted. That's true. It's very rare that there's a true 50-50. I don't think I say that very often, but I'll pay attention to that. That's worth thinking about. Katana Prime is a super easy commentator to commentate with. He does a great job at making it simple to commentate with. But I think that that's the case for most of the like top level quality commentators. It's been a while since I've traveled to a major and been matched up with somebody who I felt like I had a hard time commentating with. And by the way, that's true not even for people who travel a lot. I commentated with Brass at NCR. He doesn't travel for commentary very often. I thought it went great. Like things like that I think are easy to do. Same thing at Showdown. I commentated with a couple of the MK heads, and I think that it went well. So I think that it's rarely the case that somebody these days is on the mic and is just like not good at dealing with it. Now, are they great? Could they improve? You know, these are different things, but it's rare that you find somebody who sucks, and that was not always the case. Not always the case. And I mean, I myself have improved a lot, even though I have things that I need to keep improving. I've improved a lot as well. And so last point, right before I started commentary here, in response to Showbiz, who says, I feel like in majors, commentary should be more professional, but in smaller tournaments, it's more cool to let loose. I think that's true broadly, but that's like within boundaries. So it's not the case that you need to have like two separate styles. One is the joking around locals commentary style, and one is the no jokes, super serious frame data commentary for majors. That's not good. And I think that I kind of have let myself do that. So I don't want to be that bifurcated. I would rather have kind of one style with little arms reaching out, and one of the arms is a little bit jokier and one of the arms is a little bit more serious, rather than having like two personalities. I think that's not good. But I think that I have done that again. So, all right, let's do this. Let me know if you can hear the Showdown thing well. Let's skip ahead a little bit. I think it was about, nope, it's too far. Is this the right spot? No. But it's pretty soon after that. So this is going to be me and Ringe. Again, let me know how the sound sounds.
Howdy do, y'all. Welcome to Texas Showdown, top 8 of Mortal Kombat 11. My name's UltraDavid.
And I'm Ringe.
Something wrong with that?
No, I just know that you already have a plethora of dumb things to say during this top 8.
I do.
So you already started it off exactly how I'm expecting.
Thanks, man. There's going to be a lot more of that.
Well, my remembrance of this was that it went awfully. And I guess that this opening. And I guess I don't think now viewing that it went terribly. But not ideally. I say y'all all the time, by the way. In real life. I think it's a really useful word. English doesn't have a regular word to describe the second person plural, and that's stupid. Is it too quiet? Okay, let's turn that up a little bit here. Let me know if this is going to be all right.
No, I just know that you already have a plethora of dumb things to say during this top 8.
I do.
So you already started it off exactly how I'm expecting.
Thanks, man. There's going to be a lot more of that.
Yes, also I am in Texas. Let me know how the sound sounds now. And that's why I said it. And before we went live, I told Ringe I was gonna... No, I didn't tell him that. I was like... I saw Ringe in Valle, and I was like, morning, y'all. And Ringe was like, did you say y'all? And then I was in my mind. I was like, okay, I have to say this on commentary now, because Ringe thinks it's stupid. So I want to bring more personality. The other thing that he's referencing, which is true, is that I wrote down a list of stupid... like move names, like stupid things to call moves, things that I thought were funny. And this is, I didn't make this idea up. The person who I know does this more is Yipes. Yipes is super funny, but isn't coming up with everything on the spot. Yipes will think stuff up and write it down and keep it in his memory banks for future usage. So rather than like just being on the spot constantly, he's like got things in mind that he then applies later. And I want to do that. Because I don't know why I haven't been doing that again. So anyway, I guess that intro didn't go too badly. The thing that I didn't like about this the most, this is a 9 gig file. So
I'm Ringe.
Welcome to Texas Showdown, top 8 of Mortal Kombat 11. My name's UltraDavid.
And I'm Ringe.
Something wrong with that?
I spoke over him, and I don't know why. Like I couldn't wait the second until he was gonna say I'm Ringe, because I know he's about to say and I'm Ringe, but I didn't want to wait. And this was like me jumping the gun a little bit too much. I want to like get across the silly side, and I'm jumping the gun too much on this. So this is part of why I think that this set didn't go that well, is that I'm like kind of experimenting with when to do that. And
No, I just
sometimes it went okay, but sometimes not.
know that you already have a plethora of dumb things to say during this top 8.
I do.
So you already started it off exactly how I'm expecting.
Thanks, man. There's going to be a lot more of that. So check out the brackets for yourself if you're interested. They're on smash.gg, and you can see everything that has gone down so far this weekend. But top 8 is ready to go. We're going to be starting with winner's side, of course.
Oh, yes.
And it will be King Gambler versus Handy Savage to begin things off.
Man, Handy Savage definitely got one of my favorite tags I've ever seen in the FGC. And yeah, I saw a little bit of King Gambler and Handy Savage yesterday, right? We had King Gambler on the Scarlet, Handy Savage on the Jackie Briggs. See if Jackie Briggs could get in on this wall that Scarlet's going to put up.
Yeah, Gambler's been playing amazingly this weekend. A couple of Texas players.
I don't have any big notes right now, by the way. This is fine.
Very strong. Gambler really had a come up over the last couple of years. Handy Savage has been around. But he beat Ominous to get into, well, to move forward. I think that was in pools. And Ominous was somebody that a lot of people had thought would make winner's side top 8.
Okay.
But he's in loser's top 8, so he did make it.
So one thing that I'm doing there, and I'm trying to do it all the time, I'm trying to do it now, is to not speak monotonously. I want to have like variation in tones, you know, rather than I feel like it's easy in situations like this to just talk and talk and talk and talk and to come across monotonously. And that is super common in esports commentary. If you listen to more League of Legends style commentary, I think they're starting to change a little bit, but for years I really felt like they had this sort of monotonous rhythm, and it was very similar, and they rarely changed from the format, and that was, I hated it. So I really don't want to do that. There's like two ways that I've been approaching this. One is by keeping in mind, like, again, this is all super interconnected. One is that I want to know where a sentence is going as I start it. If I know where a sentence is going to go, it's way easier to like modulate my voice to emphasize whatever point I'm trying to get across. If I don't know where it's going, I'm just kind of rambling, and that's when I feel like that kind of esports rhythm begins to take over. I don't feel that I have the esports rhythm, but that is to say, I think people who do it, it's a way to speak without thinking as much. You don't have to think about the other sides of how your voice sounds because you're already like involved in a rhythm, and you don't need to vary that. So when you hear people commentate and you all know what I'm talking like. This is definitely, you've heard it for sure. I mean, if you listen to League, even some Smash commentators do this now. It's an over-reliance on a particular set of rhythms that I feel really wipes a lot of the personality out of people. I don't want to do that. So again, one side is knowing where the sentence is going to go, the idea is going to go. And then the other one is kind of paying attention to my breathing, because you can't like enunciate with a long vowel or whatever if you don't have the breath for it. Like if you have already spoken for too long and you don't have the breath for it, you can't just say a thing long and loud. Like you have to have planned for it, and you have to have the air for it. So these are related concepts for sure.
Yeah, we will see Ominous a little bit later, but we are starting with Heart Piercer Scarlet for my man.
No, you're right. You're right, Crispy. My voice, look, I think lots of people's voices are this way. When you're just talking normally, you're not paying attention necessarily to like where the points of accentuation are, or what you are, whether you're going up or down in pitch. Like you're not paying attention to that. So your voice kind of comes across as being a little bit more monotonous. Now some people are worse at that than others. But for everybody, just natural talk is not like super varied. You're not singing, and in English anyway, not in American English. So that's, I think, a pretty common issue. So, I think that it happens to me maybe more than some other people for sure. But when I'm on the commentary desk, I don't want that to happen. I want to pay attention to where I'm going, and I want to have the breath to vary what I end up doing. If that makes sense. But man.
King Gambler. Let's see, and the Jackie Briggs, we've really only seen first round KO from Jackie Briggs, right? Not a lot of people have been exploring the second variation. And to be honest, I understand why. Like, having explored the second variation a bit, I could definitely see the appeal of the first over the second. But
I've actually been playing that second Jackie variation, a little bit anyway, and I think it's a little underrated. I mean, first round KO Jackie is, one of the top 2-3 characters in the game, so I don't think that the other one is that strong, but pretty good.
Looks like we're getting the Reborn Scorpion.
Yeah, we did see this from him as well.
Okay, I only saw the Jackie Briggs.
Yeah. No, he moves around a little bit, and I think Scorpion is a strong pick. A lot of people are talking about him as being one of the best in the game. I've heard whispers of number one, even.
Maybe.
We'll see how it goes.
And this is the Reborn variation. So this has the teleport cancels, it has the air throw. You're not going to be seeing the power up on the spear or the yo-yo chains or anything like that.
Right, yeah. But that's...
So I like this from Ringe. Ringe has actually been playing a lot of MK, but if I were in his position, I think that I would want to prove that I know about Mortal Kombat. Because I've been in the situation where I'm trying to commentate a game for the first time, a game that I've been playing, but that people don't expect I'm gonna know about. This happened with BB Tag last year, where I played that game super much all the time. I was grinding that game and I was in training mode all the time, and I knew a lot about it. And when I went to some tournament to commentate, Canada Cup, I was there to commentate other stuff too, but James and I did a set of BB Tag, and I knew people would not expect that I was gonna know what BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle was all about. So I wanted to show that I did, and so at least at the start of the commentary, I was trying to talk about all the things I knew about the characters, and without being too heavy on it, that can take away from the commentary if you just get too in on the information. But I wanted to make it clear, hey, look, I get it. You don't think I know anything about anime? Fine. But I have actually been playing this game a lot, and here's how it works. Here's how this character works. Here's how this character works. That kind of stuff. So I think Ringe is probably doing the same here. And I think that's a good strategic choice from a commentator who's commentating a game that people don't expect him to know how to commentate. I like that. Bam.
Teleport cancel is so strong.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Ooh, yeah, that was a punish. He didn't hold the kill for the crushing blow.
Get him! Oh, dude, he did down one and then into the parry. He had tried parry out of that string earlier, just in case.
And King Gambler needs to make sure he controls the neutral right now. He doesn't have a lot of meter on his side, so the recharge is going. Challenges the teleport cancel. Down one into throw. Nice escape, though. Teleport to the other side. Breakaway real quick. Damn, the overhead. Nice awareness of the string. Back throw for the corner.
In trouble now. You can't teleport too easily in this situation, even if you have defensive bars, which he does. Yeah, like you said, or like I said, it's too much startup to do very easily.
I think I got tripped up there, and I don't really know why. I was definitely tripping over my own words. I don't really know what the reason for that would be. And maybe this is part of why I feel my memory of this commentary set is that it was bad. I even tweeted afterward that I said I didn't think that I did a good job on commentary this weekend. I'm not telling jokes right here. This is not the side of the commentary that I want to bring out, but you know what it was? It's that I'm keeping these things in mind all the time. I'm trying to. I'm trying to keep in mind, okay, make sure that you're breathing correctly. Okay, are you being monotonous in your voice or not? Are you doing other stuff instead of just sounding the same all the time? Are you thinking about what silly stuff could I say in this moment? And I'm these are all in my brain at the same time. So I'm still trying to commentate while also multitasking in terms of how I'm monitoring myself. I guess I should say, I've said this in the past, but whenever I'm commentating, I'm listening to my voice, and it's I am both thinking about what I'm going to say and also then monitoring it as it comes out. And the way that I view it is as a conveyor belt. So I'm like making the widgets that are going onto the conveyor belt, and then as they're going down to the conveyor belt, I'm also quality assurance, and I'm like paying attention. Okay, is this the thing that needs to be here as they go down the conveyor belt? So I'm trying to do these things simultaneously, and there are easier times than others to do that. Sometimes it's very difficult, and if I have other stuff in my brain at the same time, then it's not as easy, right? That makes sense. I'm like too busy mentally. So that's what I'm thinking about here. Oh, dude, cross contour. I totally agree. You hate when they say stuff like, if I was playing, I would do this. Don't say that on commentary. That's not a useful thing. Nobody cares what the commentator would do. You're not the one playing. You can give info, as you're saying. It's great to do other info, but what you would have done, no, nobody cares about that.
Catches him out, but no confirming to the fatal blow or anything further. Gets the throw. Oh, and that will be enough. I couldn't quite see the amount of life he had left, but of course, if it's under 140, they're dead.
Mm-hmm. We've seen throws a few times as far as the reversals go. Those can be ducked and blown up, but we haven't seen it yet from Handy Savage.
Yeah, usually you want to condition with like a mid-check first, right? And then you can start mixing in the throw.
So this is, let me
mid-check.
Yeah,
let me go back here.
We've seen throws a few times as far as the reversals go. Those can be ducked and blown up, but we haven't seen it yet from Handy Savage.
So did you listen to how my voice was going up and down there? That is a kind of minor version of what I'd like to do. Again, this is like me trying to figure this out in this commentary set. I had been thinking about doing these things. I had done it the previous day. I mean, at Texas Showdown day 1 or 2 or whatever. Yeah, both, I guess. But I'm still working on it. And so this is like they're slightly up and down. It's not like, I'm not like, you know, not huge oscillation or anything like that, but a little bit, okay.
Yeah, usually you want to condition with like a mid-check first, right? And then you can start mixing in the throw game afterwards.
But I'm sure this is not the first time these guys have played.
Yeah. Now check that down forward. Teleport cancel just goes into the string after King Gambler playing very solid.
Oh, again, he's looking for the flawless block up too. That's why he's going for the parry out of that string.
Ooh, nice reaction. Breakaway real quick. Yep, just put him back to full screen. Oh, with the big scythe.
Oh, got her, but hard to have confirmed that one hit.
Okay. Oh, gives him the space.
I love these staggers right now. Both have the same idea. Oh, blow her up, yes! This is
Nice
big.
whiff punish. Yeah, no breakaway.
No, you can even hear it go ding ding.
Ooh, get up attack. That's been the...
I honestly don't have that many notes. You know, is it perfect? No, but again, my memory of this set was that it was like really bad. I was about to say the worst. Probably not the worst, but that it was bad. And yeah, I mean, so far I don't think it's bad. To be honest, I'll tell you if I thought it sucked. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. Yes, this is Texas Showdown. Texas Showdown. And Gambler is super strong. No doubt about that.
Defensive bar he does have on it. Checks with the down one and then gets the throw. Escape failed.
Oh, escape failed. Next one could be crushing blow.
Yeah. He's one more forward throw.
Oh, he's threatening teleport. I love seeing Scorp at the other side of the screen. What character could be threatening from that side of the screen? Yep.
Oh, yes, punish. Let's go.
Okay.
Fatal blow. That's definitely going to be enough damage. King Gambler taking the first game over Handy Savage. And yeah, I think that is what makes Scorpion so threatening and so good right now, right? Is the fact that he can just sit on the other side of the screen and you're scared for your life.
Yeah, she can't easily throw a projectile. That's what she wants to do, but you can't easily do it because of that threat. But the thing is that you have to make good on that threat sometimes. You have to be willing to teleport sometimes. And if the opponent is ready, if you don't go for the cancel, even if you do and they are ready, they can punish you. So it's a risk.
Yeah.
It's a risk.
Again, yeah, this is not as bad sounding as I thought it was going to be. I definitely thought I was going to come in to this today and do this stream and just be like constantly ass the worst. Why would I say this? Bad timing, terrible. And I guess I don't see that yet. Maybe it was later. Yeah, Crispy, that was definitely my intention. So thanks for that. You don't see anybody else pushing Scarlet? Yeah, he's probably the premier Scarlet, but I mean, remember Sonic Fox reverse 3-0'd Dragon in top 8 of Combo Breaker? Was it Dragon? Or Smeege, maybe. Smeege. So he's not... Gambler's not the only Scarlet, but yeah, he's probably the premier, like, primarily Scarlet player. He plays a couple others. I know I've seen him play Devora, for example.
I
Bam!
think that's really why people gravitate towards Reborn, those that do, because I've seen like both variations be pretty popular.
Yeah.
But I think the Reborn is the fact that not only can you cancel the Amplify, or cancel it into the Amplify on block, right, which already makes it a little bit difficult to punish, but the fact that you can cancel it all together and then not commit to anything at all. So yeah, there's a lot of...
Wow! Thanks for the follow. But man, I definitely have to lower that volume.
I
Wow.
haven't seen the noob from him yet.
I like Noob in this game. Let's
Oh,
go.
interesting. He's going with noob Cybot. Yeah, I agree with you. He's,
That was
Crazy
super
damage.
loud.
Noob? Oh yeah.
I mean, very, very strong damage and just a strong mid-range character. There are some characters who can punish some of his
All right,
mid-range
I lowered
stuff,
that one a
but
little bit there. Thanks for the follow, though.
I
Hey!
haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, we shall see from King Gambler. Oh, started already out with the back two, one of his best neutral tools. He doesn't really cancel into anything, but
No.
it just takes up that space real quick.
Super fast.
Yeah.
Woo,
Yeah, negative
flawless.
5. I think negative 15 on flawless block, but it's going to be very difficult to flawless block. Just controlling the space with the tentacle.
Ooh, and not with punish.
Damn, teleporting. Amplifies it to get the down 2, but drops the combo. Ooh, nice throw. Skate failed as well.
And just back to controlling the stage. She no longer has to worry about... Well, I guess you kind of have to worry about teleport. It's not a big risk, though.
Yeah.
It's like 30 frame startup.
Ooh, nice. Canceled right to the tentacle off the long reaching.
So I didn't know where that idea was going. I hadn't fleshed it out. You could hear it. I mean, in the middle of the conversation.
Controlling the stage. She no longer has to worry about... Well, I guess you kind of have to worry about teleport. It's not a big risk, though.
Yeah.
It's like 30 frame startup.
Yeah, I wasn't... As I was talking, I realized, oh yeah, he does have a teleport that leads to 1,000 damage. And while it is bad startup, I wouldn't have wanted to say that you don't need to worry about teleport. Because you do. I mean, it's not a big concern. You know, is Handy Savage at his level of play going to bring out like a random teleport very often? Probably not. But it's a concern, and so I don't want to say that it's not. I'm glad that I was monitoring myself in this situation so that I would end up saying something that was not the wrong thing. At the same time, I wish that I had thought in advance, just like a little bit. That would have taken I don't know, quarter of a second longer to like think about before I launched my brain into talking mode. So that's what I'm talking about. Let's listen to the moment before. Did I need to start talking now? Was it like, was there silence or something? I don't think so.
And just back to control.
Oh, maybe actually.
And just back to controlling the stage. She no longer has to worry about... Well, I guess you kind of have to worry about teleport. It's not a big risk, though.
Yeah.
It's like 30 frame startup.
Yeah, I don't think that I needed to press it as I did. This is me pressing it too much. So I often think about commentary as fighting gameplay. And I think about it as, you're playing offense on the mic, you're playing defense on the mic. It's, of course, cooperative. It's not actually adversarial in the way that a fighting game is, but just as a shorthand, I think it's useful to speak in that kind of term because I know fighting games so well, it just makes sense to me. So there are moments when I think that I need to like press the advantage or sort of retake the advantage, right? Oh, I'm being pressured in the bad spot and I press a button. That's not advisable, but sometimes you got to do it, and I did it, and it worked out. I want to do that sometimes, so that's fine. But sometimes you press buttons too often defensively and you get blown up for it. Sometimes you press too hard at your advantage and you get blown up for it. So I want to have that mindset while I'm commentating that there's no need to press too hard. You can I could have waited another half second, would have been fine. So finding those moments, I think, is a big part of good commentary. And good commentary is not just about talking constantly. Definitely not. Sometimes you got to let it breathe. So I don't know that I needed to let it breathe there, but I didn't also need to speak before I had formed the thought.
Ooh, nice. Canceled right into the tentacle off the long reaching normal. Ground pound as well. Okay, Shadow Ball in response. Zoning game starts from both sides.
Oh, lovely stuff. Expecting... Oh, but here you go. That actually could have been more if he had gone for a true string in that situation. She was whiffing. Threatening teleport. Okay, and it worked, and right into fatal blow.
Super smart. And I was actually looking for Handy Savage to start threatening the teleport.
right.
I was like, he hadn't done it all game. Turns out King Gambler one step ahead, uses the fatal blow to ensure the round.
He had already done teleport cancels 2 times. And I guess Handy Savage just thought that was what was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I mean, honestly, it's not going as badly as I thought. So that's cool, I guess. I tend to be, I'm critical of myself. I'm rarely like a jerk to myself in terms of how negatively critical I am. I try to be honest with myself about how things are going, not just in commentary, but just in general. But my memory of this was that it was bad. And now that I'm listening to it again, I don't think it's that bad. Could I be doing better? Definitely. But my memory of it again was like, oh, we're set in like a year for me. I don't really feel that way so far. Will we ever see these 2 characters in top 8 again? Well, we saw Scarlet in Combo Breaker top 8 and DreamHack Dallas top 8 because Gambler was also there. So I think she's good. I don't think she's bad. And like Gambler made Handy Savage switch away from Reborn Scorpion. Like, what's her bad matchup if it's not Reborn Scorpion, right? So I don't know. I think she's pretty good. Canada KOF, for me, it is the opposite. I tend to remember the positives much, much better than the negatives. So much so that sometimes it bites me in the butt. I'm often too positive in my memory. And that's great in general. I know people who are the opposite, and that's, I wouldn't want that. But for example, I was so positive that things would go well in tests that I took back in college that sometimes I just literally didn't study. Because in the past, my memory of the past at that time was, I've always done great on tests, no big deal, don't worry about it. And then the test comes back and I didn't actually do that well because I didn't prepare. That, I've definitely been more on that side than on the too negative side in my life. But that said, I'm not always positive. So there are times, and maybe that Crispy's right, where because I'm trying to be so conscious about how I'm dealing with commentary in this set, I'm very actively thinking, or trying to anyway, about how to sound and what to say, and I'm so focused on that in a way that I'm typically not. I mean, I'm always to some degree, but I'm letting myself commentate typically and then just kind of monitoring. But in this instance, I was really trying to think about what I was going to say beforehand, even more so than usual. So that it may have been that I got into my own head too much. It may have been. Man.
Little far. There it is. Oh, and he did go for the parry. Let's go. All
That's
right.
cool.
He's tried that 3 or 4 times and finally it worked.
Yeah, these two have definitely played each other quite a bit, back to back with the parries. If you're already parrying someone's flawless block up 2, look at that. Yeah. And then he doesn't commit to the up 2 this time. I think he had meter for it, so good bait.
And he didn't go for the full-on big combo. There would have been a breakaway, but at least you take the breakaway meter if so.
Oh, Tentacle to push him to the other side. It's going to be good space for Scarlet. Shadow Ball, hold back 2 as well. Gets that range. There we go.
Oh, way too far.
Yeah.
And rare to see a whiff punish with that normal. That's really impressive there from King Gambler.
He definitely was just doing the overhead. Are you serious? Pass, David? Hold on.
Bait.
And he didn't go for the full-on big combo. There would have been a breakaway, but at least you take the breakaway meter if so.
Oh, Tentacle to push him to the other side. It's going to be good space for Scarlet.
I went way too far back.
Shadow Ball, hold back 2 as well. Gets that range. There we go.
Oh, way too far.
Yeah.
I mean, there's absolutely no way.
Way too far.
Yeah. Gets that range. There we go.
Oh, way too far.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
And rare to see.
I don't know, I guess. I don't know.
That's really impressive there from King Gambler.
Yeah, back to the goal so far. And it's one of
the only reason I stopped the recording there is that I don't want to get into the mindset of always having to explain that somebody did something cool. it's happened so many times that I say something on the mic that's like a plausible explanation for something. Oh, what a great reaction. Or I can't believe he was thinking about this at the time and he had this as his counter to whatever the situation was. And then I've asked the player later, or just said, wow, that was such a sick reaction. And then they're like, I was just doing that. I was like, here's the time. I'm gonna do it. That happens so much because they're just the players. I mean, they're better players than me, but they're not gods out there, right? So I don't want to like make it always seem that the players are doing incredible things. Sometimes they're just doing stuff, and that's fine to say. From a commentary perspective, that's fine to say. The viewers, they don't need to always hear that the players are gods making godlike choices. Like that doesn't help anybody. Well, so I don't want to say very often that somebody made a bad choice or just was playing randomly. I often think that wouldn't be a fair characterization. But I don't always need to highlight something as a great decision, if that makes sense. So you have like two ways to deal with it, right? One or three, I guess. One is that the thing was super sick. Wow, incredible. The other one was he was just doing that. What a rando. And then you have the middle of, and you wait for the next thing to talk about. And I think that is sometimes the better choice. I would say the negative one is rarely the better choice, although sometimes. So again, I don't think that it's always good to be talking on commentary. Sometimes you got to let the moments breathe. Sometimes you have to pick what you're going to say in advance and not, I don't know.
That brings.
By the way, I didn't pick what I was going to say in advance, right? This moment right now where I didn't know what to say. I didn't pick that in advance. So still working on things over here.
Back a little bit, right? So it's not easy to punish. Oh yeah, it's -9. No punish though.
Nope. The crawler approaches, and just back to a lot of control right here at a King Gambler. Okay, 4-2.
Yep, just
A little bit of damage, not too much out of that. Oh, he was hoping for something. Andy Savage did not.
Can she not punish back 1/1+3? I felt every character could, but maybe that's false. Certainly the characters I can. But, you know, not everybody has a half-screen 17-frame command grab, so.
Give it to him.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, he's just been looking for that. Oh,
He got it! That was through a throw!
from the P&D, 2 boots. Bring them down. Both fatal blows are gone for the 3rd round. And finally, my man.
Yeah, it might be that like forward 2 could work for if Noob was point blank, but maybe not at anything further than that, because it does have pushback for sure. I don't know, just thinking about. Not sure.
It's on the board. Handy Savage. Gotta bring this momentum.
I mean, that was a risk to take in that situation.
Oh yeah.
If that hadn't been thrown, that had been some actual media attack, that would have just lost.
Yep.
My ultimate goal on commentary is to stop saying things that are just filler time, like I mean and but that's super hard. So that's gonna be later. That's after, okay, I feel that I know where the sentence is gonna go before it starts. Okay, I feel that I'm controlling my breathing well enough so that I can concentrate on commentary instead. It's just become an automatic reaction. And then like end game is don't say and I mean and like, that kind of thing. Not easy. So right now I don't want to do it, and if I recognize that I'm about to do it, then I'll stop myself. But if I'm just saying it and it just comes out, I don't want to be too critical of myself for that, because dude, that is tough.
Oh, we actually break away out of the down. I was going to say the down 2, but the amplified teleport.
Ooh, gone really out of Scarlet, huh?
And like other people have the same ticks, but it often comes across differently for different people. Some commentators say, what do they say? I don't know if I want to blow anybody up, I guess, is my hesitation here. But every commentator has 2 or 3 things that they do that if you're paying attention on commentary, you'll hear them say them as like a filler, like in order to give their brain time to decide what to say, or in order to give them some space, not to say anything, but just sort of to breathe a little bit. Everybody has that thing, and I'm sure you could pay attention and listen to what other people do if you are so inclined. But again, that's very common. So while I don't want to do those things, I also don't want to be too critical of myself until I've gotten the other stuff ironed out. Boop.
Yeah, you think you value the fact that you can like get up roll or let's block reversal.
Wow.
Something like
All
that.
right. Andy Savage just trying to throw something out. It looks like he's in a little trouble overhead. And it's going to be hard to make a comeback. They already blew each other last round.
Indeed, they did.
Here comes Gambler.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's right.
Blew each other last round. And it's going to be hard to make a comeback. They already blew each other last round.
Indeed, they did.
Here comes Gambler.
I stand by that. I didn't say that at Combo Breaker, I don't think, because I think I wasn't sure if that would have been cool on like a major, super big stream. Showdown's a big stream. It's on Level Up Live, like one of the biggest fighting game streams. But the Pro Tour aspect of Combo Breaker, I didn't know that I wanted to say like they blew each other. But that's funny. I stand by it.
Coming out with corner control. He's trying to get false block timing so you can see it, but he's just not quite there. There it is!
Ooh, finally finds it. This is exactly what he needs. Teleslam as well. This is good damage.
Oh, is he gonna tank it? Interesting. Did not go for breakaway. And there's no offensive meter for Handy Savage, so he's in big trouble. Even if he finds a hit, it's not gonna be big damage.
No punish there. Gets the throw and no escape failed. No nothing. King Gambler goes up 2-0.
Ooh, that expression out of Handy Savage on the left side right there as he slumps in his chair. It's like he doesn't know what to do. He already tried 2 characters, neither one worked out.
I forgot to mention this. The other thing that I want to do, in addition to know where the thought's gonna go, in addition to breathing, in addition to super long term, don't use filler stuff. The other one is to have this little sort of narrative flair. I love that Katana Prime does this. He's the best at this. In fact, he's like the only one who does it now. I would say Seth Killian, if he wants to, he could be like the best commentator, but you know, whatever, he's got other stuff going on. That is so cool to me, how they'll be commentating and then just have a little narrative flair. Oh, as David flings his hands in the air, he's trying to get the point across. Like to just describe it. And I think that adds a lot myself. I don't know how other people feel, but part of why when we did the Ultra Chen TV Nobody Cares About Commentary Awards last year, I gave Katana Prime maybe number 1 or it was top 3 for sure. I don't remember what I said, but he was in there, and that's a big part of it. I felt that was so unique compared to what everybody else did on commentary, and I love that. I think that's so cool. So I do want to do that more often, and I'm trying to find the right moments for that. It shouldn't be constant. But at the end of a round, at the end of a big combo, you know, there are definitely situations where I think that is well called for. If I feel that the co-commentator doesn't feel like they need to talk, sometimes you can kind of tell sitting next to somebody that they want to talk. If so, fine, let them talk. But if they don't seem like they want to, then maybe it's time to let them, or to let yourself talk. I really like that idea. Let me see. Let's replay this here.
Ooh, that expression out of Handy Savage on the left side right there as he slumps in his chair. It's like he doesn't know what to do. He already tried 2 characters, neither one worked out.
In the past, I would have phrased this a little differently. I think I would have pointed out that he's in his chair slumping. But I wouldn't have phrased it as kind of the narrative flair ending of a sentence. I would have just cut the sentence, said, it looks like Handy Savage is slumping in his chair, which is a different sound. I mean, it's the same idea. It's just a different phrasing of it. And I feel like it's more interesting, at least to me, in my own take, is to kind of have it included as kind of just a narrative little flourish at the end of something. I like that a lot. I think that sounds really cool. Yeah, Ringe is commentating. I mean, I don't know that I would say he's trying to be a commentator. He is commentating. He's a commentator. He's been everywhere, man. He was at Evo Japan. I mean, it doesn't get farther than that, right? Been a bunch of majors across the states for sure. He's good. I don't know. Yeah, he definitely is doing it. Wow, sick. Thanks for the subs, Thumblebee. Is that too loud? It's pretty loud in my ears. Yeah, he did Street Fighter League. Also a good point. Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm happy for Renge. Do I remember when the video went down at Attorney and I commentated like on the radio? Yes, I do. Do you remember when I tried to replicate that a couple of times? I put a couple of YouTube videos out of me trying to commentate as if it were a radio program. The idea behind that was as a commentary exercise. It wasn't really that I wanted to like get across to people who couldn't see what the action was. It wasn't really the point. The point was, could I learn to commentate narratively well enough to let people know, like, more or less what happened? I felt like that was a good exercise. You know what? Maybe I should do that again, because I think that was a good exercise, to be honest. It wasn't very, very successful. I think that was how I would phrase that. Could have been better. I wonder if I'd be better at that now, though. That was so many years ago. That must have been 5-6 years ago. Ah, thanks, Stumblebee. That's super cool. Much obliged. And we're definitely trying to do more in terms of streaming and, you know, community interaction and whatnot. Crispy, are you talking about having the little narrative flair at the end? I don't want to just list move names for sure. In fact, I think I almost never say what a real move's real name is. Sometimes I'll say the move, but I'm pretty hesitant to say things like noobs back 1/1+3. Because what does that mean? I mean, if you know the game really well, you know what the string is, and if you don't know the game very well, then I've said nonsense to you. So I don't really get the point. Oh, the radio commentary. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that's not. I did not want to treat it as just Sonic Boom, dash up, upside down kick. Nah. I'll go back and listen to it, but I don't think that's what I did at the time either. You know, I guess I'll try it again. I'll check it out. But anyway, no, I would not want to just do straight up move names. That seems like a bad call.
Yeah, he's gone with two characters that have like a teleport, right, to get in on Scarlet. But I think what was it? King Gambler, there we go.
Yeah.
I really lost his name for a second. But yeah, King Gambler has just done a good job of threatening his own teleport and mixing up his projectile game, really not spamming anything, mixing between the tentacle, the ground pound, and at different ranges. Yeah. He's doing a good job not letting Andy Savage get in.
I don't know that Noob is the character you want to go to use that teleport. It is like half a second startup. It takes quite a while. It's hard to throw out randomly.
Yeah, the Scorpion was definitely the better choice if you're going to go for a teleport-based strategy.
Yeah. Well, he's going to go with Jackie, which is the character that we saw most from him on his qualification route to top 8.
This is fine right now.
And
you know, I don't have big notes.
Would try to avoid this matchup. She's just very a frontal approach kind of character, and that's where Scarlet really survives. I mean, she's
man, already calling out the down ones. That's nice. Oh! Down 2, not holding the button.
Sorry. Let me back it up here.
I mean, she's
man, already
a frontal approach kind of character.
All right.
And I guess I understand why he would try to avoid this matchup. She's just very a frontal approach kind of character, and that's where Scarlet really survives. I mean, she's
man, already calling out the down ones.
I think survives is a weird way to put it. That's like what she does. Thrives, right? Like, I don't know.
That's nice. Oh! Down 2, not holding the button though. Doesn't get the crushing blow. Yeah, I think this is Andy Savage's bet now. He's like, all right, I can't get in on the teleport characters. Let me just play the struggle, but once I'm in, I'm going to have a better game. That's the combo though.
She's a big threat up close.
Oh, try to close the distance with that, but the ground pound blows up the start of the teleport there.
Whip punish, please. Yes, nicely done.
Let's go. We got the corner as well. Yes.
And there's no breakaway?
Briggs. Oh, he's going to learn to break away real quick if that happens again.
Oh, man. He tried to delay, but Andy Savage was ready. That looked so much better.
Yes.
He looked so much more comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
I think that whole round was fine. Oh, that was the one thing I didn't like. Oh, I said survives, and that's like probably not the best word choice, but not so bad.
As soon as he was in, it was all Handy Savage. He even tries to read the teleport right there with the jump back, but it's a little bit off. Ooh, too far away for the throw, but no whip punish. Both players trading with the down 4. Ooh,
Yeah, she does have these good approach tools. They're just frontal approaches, and that's what Scarlet wants to control. But right now, she is not controlling anything.
Thanks,
She's
Crispy.
trying to back away for her life.
And don't forget that Superman Punch has a crushing blow. Okay, that max range. Great stuff, though. King Gambler already adjusting to Handy Savage's strategy. Front throw.
That looks super frustrating for Jackie right there.
You see, giving him all the respect in the world. Oh, yeah, I like that. The follow-up to the tech throw.
And no flawless buck this time. Oh, he had the right idea.
I was actually just about to say that may have been approaching the time when it was too long to not say anything at all. I'm totally down to let commentary breathe, but there's a limit to that, and it's not just that it's a limit, like it's less of a big deal for the viewer. For the commentator to not say anything for a while ends up feeling restrictive. Like you have kind of placed yourself into a weird bubble where then how do you restart it? And something that I think I've done a better job at, because this is sort of my goal previously, was to not come back saying, okay, or back into it, or something that's kind of greases the road for you. I don't know why you need that, but that's just a common thing. Like all the commentators do it or did it. Not everybody does it now, but that's super common. And that's common too in real life. Like imagine you and somebody else are sitting next to each other and you're not talking for a while. How do you start it? Do you just start it up like words, a whole sentence? No, you're like, hey, or sup, or okay, or you know, there's a thing that you do and then you talk. It's very common. So I don't want to do that. I didn't do it here. Nice. All I'm saying is that before I then heard myself talk, in my mind I was thinking, this is getting to the point where I'm not sure how I'm going to handle this, but then I handled it okay. So that's cool.
Just switch sides with a back throw. Good awareness from Handy Savage. Nice.
Okay.
Takes his turn after the block down 1.
Wow, they're really playing games around that flawless block or not in that string right there. And King Gambler really has...
So is a huge one for greasing it up, yes.
Blood balls, nice flawless block.
Of Tony.
Oh, yeah, in.
Yep, stops it short that time. Oh, gets the throw, but he's
There it is, Manny Savage.
Put that interactable down. Handy Savage puts himself on the board now, and yeah, that Jackie Briggs looking good. Yeah, at that point, when you have that amount of health, it's not going to save you, bro. But I appreciate it. Make sure you get it on point.
Of course, you can press that X button to reduce damage if you're the defender or gain extra damage if you're the attacker, but it's not a lot. It's pretty minimal.
Yeah.
It's like 20 damage if you guess correct, or if you get it correctly.
Jackie Briggs. Crowd was calling for the fatality, but King Gambler not interested in that, and neither is Handy.
So there's a fine line, I think, between having a catchphrase and saying something too often. Sometimes saying something too often like turns it into a catchphrase, but those aren't the same things. They're just like on a continuum, you know? And sometimes it's hard to differentiate between the two. Sometimes people like what they feel is a catchphrase that other people think is just an annoying thing that's said too often. That wouldn't be annoying if it wasn't said as often. So, you know, what are you gonna do? I don't think that I have anything like that. But other people definitely do. And I don't think that's bad. I think it's cool. Like, I think it's cool that when it's down to the last round of a set, Rip will say final round. I think that's cool. So I'm down with that. I like that. Sure, are there some things I wish people wouldn't say as often? Yes, definitely. And some of them are things that are... The final round thing is a particular situation, and it doesn't come up very often. When it happens, it's cool to hear. But if it's constant, then that is a different story. Maybe that's the best differentiation between the two. One is a response to a particular situation that doesn't happen very often, and another one is just kind of a go-to crutch. I don't know. That's maybe something to think about better, but that's, yeah, double Luigi is sick, right? That's cool. And like when Ares used to mess around with Okizeme changes after Tom Brady screwed it up, right? That was a lot of fun. That was really funny, I thought. So I'm definitely down for that. But there are other things, again, like I was saying earlier, people say too often that they're tropes that just allow them to sort of move through the moment and commentate the next thing that's after that. Some of them are not just right or here or there or whatever. I mean, there's individual words people will use. Some of them are phrases that are a little longer. And I don't want to do that either. I don't want to rely on it. But the idea of having something that's like, you know, a particular situation comes up, you recognize that here's the situation as the commentator, and you say the thing. That's cool. That's cool with me. I think What's for Breakfast is a good example. That was funny, but it's maybe overly used, and that situation comes up way too frequently to be used constantly. Like I was saying is a good example of this. Yes, perfect. That's a phrase, right? That's not an individual word. That is you're taking up some time. Again, the reason for that is that the commentator is using that as a sort of way to skate into the next whatever they want to talk about. It has an intention. It's just not a useful one from the perspective of the viewer, and to be avoided. Oh wow, Crispy, actually, can you tweet that to me like before CEO, because I'll forget, but that's very smart. I like that a lot. Let's make some noise. So I think it's funny, but yeah, for sure he says it too often sometimes. I've talked to him about it. Like, I don't want to blow anybody up here who I haven't like said the thing to in real life, you know? But yeah, I talked to Steve about that, and he knows, and sometimes he doesn't do it. So, you know, it's something to do, think about. You hate to see this kind of thing happen. Okay, I like the idea of that as a catchphrase. It's funny, you know, but overused. And you have to, if you're the person who comes up with the catchphrase and then everybody uses it, the value of that catchphrase to you is diminished. And now you got to come up with a new catchphrase. That's just how things go. Not just in fighting game commentary, obviously, right? Like, things get played out all the time. And if you're a singer or a musical artist in some way or whatever, like if you're in any creative enterprise, people will go to a thing and do it too much, and then people who started it are like, I don't want to do this anymore. I need a new thing. That happens constantly. So the same thing for catchphrases in fighting games. Other people can play them out for you, and that kind of sucks, but you gotta realize that. I love Ladies and Dragons. That's very funny. Steve's great.
Andy Savage.
No doubt about that.
He looked so much better.
On that Jackie, man? Yeah, definitely looked way better. And I think he's just come to that point where he's like, all right, I'm content to struggle to get in, but once I'm in, King Gambler can't deal with my stuff.
It's a pretty good way in, honestly.
Yeah. And we've only seen King Gambler duck the Superman punch one time, right? So Andy Savage still feels pretty good about threatening with it.
Moved way far away, and that was the bad times for Jackie Briggs. The crawler, the tongue, the blood ball.
Now, I mentioned that I don't want to sound monotonous, but I do think that there are moments where monotony can get a point across. Let me know if you agree. But I think in a moment like this,
pretty good about threatening with it.
Moved way far away, and that was the bad times for Jackie Briggs. The crawler, the tongue, the blood ball.
So in that, was that it?
Oh, very nice.
Okay, I probably should have ended it like in a sort of emphatic way. Have it be like a statement that's over. That would have been better. But just the idea of the monotony there, I think like gets the point across. These are all the same. Like, this is the same category of stuff. Good things. So I think in situations like that, it's good. Yeah, exactly. That's my thought. So all right, cool.
Escape failed even.
Yeah, back throw, get all that real estate.
Yeah, you got to. That's a good way to put it. That my intention there is to make it clear that it's like a perfectly phrased. You have to trudge through them, her projectiles, and what better way to demonstrate trudging than monotony? Yeah, good.
That one. Oh!
Nice punish. Again, just play this zoning game. This is where Jackie's at her weakest.
Yeah, in this game, she is not a zoner, especially in this variation. Oh, blow her up. And didn't even have meter to escape, couldn't have escaped anyway. And it's match point, King Gambler.
Yeah, he knew Handy Savage was getting desperate
That was a good declarative end right there.
at that point. Right now, a lot of life left that Jackie Burns.
Nice.
He had to do something to get in. Ducks the Superman punch perfectly.
Oh! Bummer.
All right, at least we're in. We're in close proximity. Let's go. Amplified and breakaway real quick. That was mid-screen though. Ooh.
Delay was beautifully timed. Oh!
Gets the crushing blow.
And it's right back to stage control. It's right back to life advantage for King Gambler. Didn't go for the... Okay. Just...
I'm trying to think about why I made it sound like that. Let's go back here.
Oh!
Gets the crushing
Not
blow.
that.
And it's right back to stage control. It's right back to life advantage for King Gambler.
I like it. I like how that sounds. I'm trying to think about like why do I like that? What makes that sound nice? I guess it's that. So on the one hand, I want to make it clear that dealing with projectiles is difficult. I want my commentary to get that across without being negative about it. I zone a lot. I play zoners. Not exclusively, but I do. So I like it, but I'm down to get the point across that it's hard for the opponent to get through. On the other hand, I want to not come across as if I'm being only pro Handy Savage in this situation. I want to make it clear that I'm also down for Gambler to win. Like, I'm impressed by him. He's a cool guy. Like, that would be great. So it's the same. I'm highlighting the same idea that it's back to space control, back to life advantage. Exactly the same sort of implied meaning that the monotony section was, but now it's more of a positive for King Gambler that he's in control. Like that's great. So maybe that's what I like about it. I don't know.
Didn't go for the... Okay. Just licks her away. Totally in control right now as Gambler. This range becomes where you're worried about things. Yeah.
Ooh, the flawless block on that.
I was definitely talking from a Gambler point of view. You could hear that even more right there. Like, in fact, let's just go back to the beginning of this.
Gets the crushing blow.
And
So I mean, Gambler's gonna win this, right? Like we all know. In the moment, it was clear. Would have been sick if Handy Savage had made the full comeback, but I felt like it was pretty clear. And so I don't want to make it seem as though I'm negative to King Gambler. I want to make it clear that it's cool if he wins. Just as it would be cool if Handy Savage wins. Either way. I don't want to be biased. So now I'm definitely like, oh, I've been talking too much from Handy Savage's perspective. Now it's time to talk from King Gambler's perspective. Like, I gotta have the two. I can't be biased in one side. Nobody likes that. I don't like that.
right back to stage control. It's right back to life advantage for King Gambler. Didn't go for the... Okay. Just licks her away. Totally in control right now as Gambler. This range becomes where you're worried about things. Yeah.
Right, so what I said is this range becomes where you're worried about things, clearly talking from Gambler's perspective, as he's concerned about Jackie being in that range where she has dash punch and back two and stuff. And I like this. I want to have both sides of commentary, so I think that I'm doing a good job. Dude, I thought this set sucked.
Ooh, the flawless
Why?
block
Was it
on
like
that
later?
screen.
I don't have enough time to go through the whole top 8, but maybe I should just on my own time to see like if there were moments that actually did suck, or was it just my own... Was I overthinking it?
Falling it out on the first hit.
Okay. Oh, and finally somebody texted. We haven't seen it all weekend.
Gambler ready for the attack and the punish on the whip throw.
Oh, here you go. There is 1 bar of offensive meter.
Oh, this is still very much a real chance for Handy Savage.
Look at this.
Oh!
How did he block all of that? And then when the throw came, he was neutral ducking and so ready. King Gambler, and he got the fatal.
Oh, word. Oh, yeah, this one, yeah.
That looks like it hurts.
Oh no!
I forgot about the eyeball part. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I forgot about the eyeball part. Man, but yeah, I like the point that you brought up about the delay.
Man,
after the breakaway,
that was a close
right?
one.
People are not used to something like that. It was
Close one. Look, I don't like the fatalities. You know, that's no secret. Although the scene missing thing, I think is hilarious. Shout outs to Auric for helping me with that. That was super cool. I mean, that's funny. That's funny, come on. Again, honestly, my feeling is that this was not as bad as I thought. And it well could be, as I think Crispy brought up, that I just was trying to keep too much in my brain and sort of viewed what I was saying through the lens of this critical sort of intention to change what I was doing. That really could be what it was. So, like I was saying, I'm basically cool with what happened. Maybe it's just that I needed to percolate on it a little bit. And in honesty, like, this is, like I said, only 2 weeks before Combo Breaker, where I felt that I did a good job. Which I'm going to look at it now. I'm going to look at Combo Breaker. Maybe I'm going to find that actually that sucked too. I wonder. Like, what if my perception is just totally wrong in both sides? Could be. I don't know. I'll be honest about it, depending on how it goes. So the next one I want to look at here is Combo Breaker. And again, I'm only going to look at the first match because I just don't have infinite time. So I'm hoping that these 2 matches give a good sort of understanding of how my commentary was at both events. I don't know if the rest of Showdown top 8 was as good as I felt that one went. Not perfectly, but I wonder if there were moments after that were bad, that's why I don't think that I did well. I'd have to go back and check. I just don't have enough time on stream. But I should look at that to know for sure. In any case, that set was better than I thought, that first match. So now we'll listen to Combo Breaker top 8 first match, and we'll see how that one went, and if my memory of it is that it did go well. And now I'm like curious to see if that perception was also wrong. Like, were there things I screwed up? I really don't remember. So let's listen in and see how it went. You think that Urian is Q's worst? Oh, dude, I do not agree with that. Okay.
At this
Personally, I feel that his worst are, I would say, Makoto for sure. Then probably Yun.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2019 Mortal Kombat Pro competition at Combo Breaker.
First off, he's the best at this. Josh is for sure the best at this kind of thing. He's thought about all these things before. All the things I'm talking about now, this dude's thought about them all because he's got a background in theater and acting. Like, he prepares super well. And before this, for example, not the most flattering moment to stop right here. I understand. Oh, that's much better. Before this top 8, like, I was in the back preparing. So something I've been doing is kind of separate from how my voice sounds, but I want to feel more prepared. So I have created this entire spreadsheet template for top 8s that has all the players. I have to fill this in each time, obviously, but the template's there. So the players are there, and then info about how they've done so far in the tournament, likely characters to be used, how they've done in the year so far or lately or whatever. And then once I have them all plugged in, then they automatically populate the matches. And for each match, I like have a little drop down menu that's like, oh, this player won, and then that automatically populates them to the next match, right? So anyway, I've built Smash UG in my own Excel templates. So as I am working on this, Josh is in the back, like pacing and stretching and repeating what he's gonna say, like a voice actor, like a theater actor would do, like not going out there and winging it and having a general idea of what they're gonna say. No, you know your lines, you say your lines, you know how you're gonna say them, you say them. That's him, and you can really see that in how this actually comes across. So good. That's Josh, man. Listen.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2019 Mortal Kombat Pro competition.
Like, now that I'm trying to do voice modulation and breathing techniques and stuff, now I hear it in his voice. I hear that he's talking from his diaphragm in a way that I wouldn't have even noticed before. Now I hear it.
Combo breaker.
That's kind of cool, actually.
We have over 800 fighters that are joining us at this tournament. And ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited to present to you some of the best players from around the world right here at Combo Breaker in St. Charles, Illinois. Now, out of those 800 fighters, we only have 8 remain. They are fighting for the #1 prize, $5,000 for first place, and those coveted pro competition points. So to everybody watching around the world and to everybody here at Combo Breaker, are you ready? It has begun.
Good job, Josh. That's so great. That's hilarious. I don't think I realized that at the time. So what's going on during this video? Is this us now? Yes. So what's going on during that video is Aquaman and me like getting last minutely prepared. The crowd is right next to us, right? Well, we're in the crowd, really is what it is. And that's unusual, but I love it at Combo Breaker because there are people like right next to me. Paulo is sitting right, which side? There. No, there. In real life, to my left when I was there. And KP is right over there, and yeah, it's just a lot of people like right next to me, so I'm like chatting and stuff. I wasn't actually watching that video at the time. But that's cool. That was cool to see Calvin in there too. That's awesome. All right, how's this go? Oh, another thing to point out. So Aquaman lost his voice pretty badly at the Texas versus Florida 10v10, which happened the previous night. It was a super hype set between 10 Florida players, 10 Texas players. He's one of the Texas. He's moved there a couple years ago now. And he cheered too loud. Do you know what I mean? Like, and this is something that I find too. When I'm on the mic, I rarely lose my voice. When I'm in the crowd and like I'm hype about something, that is when I lose my voice, because the way that I deal with it's so different. Like on the mic, I know that I need to say words. I can't just be screaming. Whereas like when I'm in the crowd, I'm also pretty loud, but I'm doing it in a way that's just, I just scream sometimes, you know. I'm not trying to like save my voice. I'm not doing any of these breathing techniques to try to maintain my voice. I'm just out there going nuts. And Aquaman is the same. So he lost his voice. Yes, you may have heard me cheering too loud at a Capcom Cup 2 years ago. Or was that 3 now? Look, man, I was a really big college football and NHL fan, and those are so my like initial ways of dealing with big crowd moments were in crowds of just absolute loud idiots. You know, that's where I learned it. My frat brothers and I would go to the college football game after hours of pre-gaming and just yell way too loud for like 3 hours. So that's where I come from. And obviously in the FGC it's the same. So that's, I've been doing that forever. Anyway, this is all to say that Aquaman lost his voice. So he knew this. In fact, it was an audible as to whether he was going to do this top 8 at all. It was almost, I forget if it was ketchup or mustard, but it was almost one of them instead. And Aquaman was like, no, I think I can do it. Because this was a big moment for him. This was his first like major top 8 at a premiere. He did IPS finals with me last year, but in terms of like a live event, look, all this, the crowd's huge, like right behind us. There's like 800 people in the room or whatever, 1,000 or something. And so that was the first big thing, and he really wanted to do it. And so he did it, but he lost his voice. So and we kind of game planned around it a little bit. We were like, all right, dude, like it's going to get worse, not going to get better. So why don't you do the intro, be loud, try to do it, because you're not going to be able to by the end. Like this, you're not going to have the voice for that. And in fact, at the end, when Scar ended up winning it, Aquaman's, I think, initial reaction was, oh, time to go nuts. But he then was like, oh, I don't have any vocal cords. And he turned to me, and I was like, yep, it's my, obviously this is unspoken. Okay, it's my turn. And I was like, Scar, So we game planned around this. So it's on him to open it up. And I think that was the right call for sure, because it wasn't going to be there at the end. So anyway, that's what we're going into in this matchup.
And welcome everyone to Combo Breaker 2019, the very first stop on the Mortal Kombat 11 Pro competition, bringing you the action. Mr. Aquaman here, my good buddy, UltraDavid's.
Do you see like the smoke rising in the background? I didn't notice that at the time.
Are you guys ready? That's what I like to hear.
That's what I'm talking about. It's Mortal Kombat 11. As you said, it's the very first gigantic major event for Mortal Kombat 11. The game is out just a month. And we think that we know some things, but we know that we don't know everything yet.
Absolutely not. And 8 players coming down from 800, guys. These are already the top players on the planet. This has been the longest Mortal competition in history, spanning 3 days, to going down from 32 pools, 3 out of each to top 96, to top 24, to here. 3 days, ladies and gentlemen. My hype cannot be contained right now.
All right, let's give it a Aquaman!
Again, like we knew that he wasn't going to have voice at the end, so it's definitely being front loaded here, but I think it's cool.
Let's check out who's playing the video game here. We're going to look at the bracket for you. We got 8. And starting out, we're going to have Scar versus a Foxy Grandpa. We'll have Tweety versus Samij. Down in loser's side, we'll have Dragon versus Big D, and Deoxys versus Sonic Fox.
The biggest storylines coming into this top 8. Look at the losers round 1. You've got the 2 finalists of the Summit of Time in losers, Sonic Fox, Dragon, another big storyline. I don't know if anyone even here knows, Sonic Fox has never won Mortal Kombat at Combo Breaker.
What?
This is the one title that is eluding him, and he has to do it from the losers bracket up against 7 of the other best on this planet, David.
That's exactly right. Yeah, he was sent to losers by Tweety, who remains in winner's side and has been looking good. Let's talk a little bit about Scar versus Foxy, who we're going to see first.
Scar versus Foxy, ladies and gentlemen. Scar coming out as one of the premier Mortal Kombat players since Mortal Kombat 9 competition began. Going up against the Foxy Grandpa, no slouch himself. This is going to be a battle of the Titans. Scar, of course, representing Texas here in the United States. Coming in with Mama Blade, a Foxy Grandpa from across the water, David.
That's exactly right. Let's check a video out here.
Man, I was literally about to say, I was gonna be like, I don't want to speak too early, but nailed it! And then I had a terrible intro into this video. What was that?
Let's check a video out here.
What are you doing? There's a thousand ways to transition into this video. How did I end up on that one?
To Grandpa from across the water, David.
That's exactly right. Let's check a video out here.
That is a bummer, man. Everything else I thought was so good. I did a lot of the things that I want to do. So I didn't begin a sentence without being pretty sure about where it was going to end. Check. I was modulating my breath. I could feel it. I could tell it in my voice. Double check. I didn't even do any filler noises. I didn't say or so or whatever. That was great. And then, what did I say here?
That's exactly right. Let's check a video out here.
Oh, just in the trash can. Wow. All right, we'll move on. Yeah, dude, that's true.
Let's check a video out.
Even that was not only a bad transition, that was when I finally brought in the dang. It was so good. Until then.
Here.
You like the vibe even? Cool, because I like the vibe. I mean, this is, again, like that's right. So the things I'm trying to do are breath and know where a sentence is going to go before I start it, and bring in my actual personality more, which is a little more casual and silly than my commentary has historically brought across. And I feel like I did all those things until that transition, which was terrible. Oh, man. All right, well, I'm not going to dwell on it here.
My name is Brad Vaughn, also known as Scar. To be in the top 8 is a wonderful feeling. This is like the third largest NRS tournament.
What up, Blindness?
The combo breaker, just another day at the office, really, isn't it? I mean, every combo breaker I've come to, I've come back with a medal.
I am going to win because I'm used to being in this position.
I'm up against Scar. I respect Scar. We're both pretty much polar opposites. Like, he's extra ham, I'm extra lame.
I am going up against Foxy Grandpa, probably one of, if not the best UK players out right now. A lot of history between me and him. It's going to be a great match.
Why am I going to win? I'm Foxy Grandpa.
Foxy, I hope you're ready, man. We've done many battles in the past, and sorry, man, but you have to go down on this one.
Go on, let's have it, you slag.
Oh, wait. So let's see what I said here.
We are already heating it up here.
That we are the trash talk between Scar and Foxy Grandpa.
So what I was thinking about saying was that I had to Google what slag meant. I don't know what that means. Let's Google it now. What does slag mean when an English person... Oh, UK. In the UK. Oh, that's not very nice. Okay, so what I was thinking about making the joke of, I had to Google what slag meant, or there's no way Scar knew what slag meant, or whatever, right? Some British joke. And I didn't, and at the time, again, I'm trying to bring across like that's my honest reaction. In real life would have been, nobody knows what that means. Like it would have been a kind of silly take on it. But my reaction on commentary, like I said, has historically not been to like do the kind of silly personality that I would normally do. So in not doing it there, I wish that I had, but I get why I didn't. And that's that this is kind of a big moment. And I just felt that I screwed up that transition after. I mean, I don't specifically remember feeling that I screwed up the transition, but I'm sure in the moment I did. I must have known that. And so I think my, brain was probably like, just do it, just handle it normally. Just, then go back to doing whatever else later, fine. But for now, just do what you've been doing for years and just feel okay again. And then maybe you bring in the other stuff. But for now, chill, right? So I think that's probably what it was. Later on, Water Kirby. Thanks for hanging. It would be nice if tournaments always did these player intros, but there are definitely reasons why they don't, and it's, right? Same problem as always. Is there enough money and time for that? Because this takes money and time. You have to have videographers there who are going to record stuff, and then they have to edit stuff, and that you have to have somebody. You have to pay somebody to do that. Like that's you shouldn't have somebody do that for free. I don't know who would do that for free in any kind of competent way. So this takes money and time. And you have to have enough time in the top 8 allotted to be able to do it, because that takes time. To do that, what was that, a minute intro? That doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to do that for each of the first matches, and that's going to take some time. And we have to... Wow, thanks. Oh, sick. What's up, MDZ Jimmy? Thank you. So that takes money and time, basically, is what it is. And then, there's the other considerations some people are bringing up, which is, would the players even do cool stuff? Right? Like, would they just be boring? Which is possible. Sometimes these videos come across like weird. Like, why would anybody say what the players said? Like, sometimes they're very boring or just awkward. So you never know what you're gonna get anyway. So you spent this time and money, and then maybe it comes out bad regardless of your efforts. So, I get why it's not common, but it is cool. I agree. It does take time. Yeah, Magic Most is right. Okay. Oh, big for... What is it? Big for Lil. Are you talking about when you said it just makes NRS look even more US-centric? Was that a response to me thinking about making a joke about British slang? If so, that's a point. That's a point well taken. Yeah, Arma for sure, man. For sure. Okay. Oh, thanks. That's super cool, Jimmy. Jeez. Okay, well, anyway, let's... I don't mean to anyway that, but you know what I mean. We move on.
Right there, and they're about
to throw down point well taken about the... I don't want to make it seem like it's US-centric at all. In fact, one of my favorite things about the scene over the past 4 or 5 years, really since MKX, is that it has become so international. Like, the best players in the world, Sonic's the best, fine. Beyond that, there's like 2 or 3 Americans, there's 2 Canadians, maybe 3 Canadians even. There's, UK player, a couple players in South America and Latin America. Like, it is actually pretty diverse, and that's super cool. So that's something I want to highlight, rather than making it come across as being US-centric in any way. So it's a good point. I wasn't thinking about that at the time, but that is a good point. All right.
We are already heating it up here.
I didn't actually listen to any of this.
We are already heating it up here.
That we are.
Very regular take on
between
it.
Scar and Foxy Grandpa right there, and they're about to throw down for us, UltraDavid.
That's right. Let's go to Josh for the introduction.
I mean, so I'm laughing because of Aquaman's voice cracking. But then my transition there is also not great. It's not the worst, right? The previous one was bad. Legit bad.
Go to Josh for the introduction.
Could have been better. I don't absolutely hate it. I would give it a 4. 5? It's not great, for sure.
It is time.
Tekken Master, of course. I gotta forget. Yeah. They're he and Shark are super good. So they even have a couple players in the Middle East. Even more than that, to be honest. In fact, at Viennality, we'll probably see more of them come back, because last year, who came? The other dude who played Scarecrow. His name now I feel like a jerk for forgetting. Revenger, maybe? Does that sound right? Let me know if you know, because now I have to look it up before I go to Vienna. Anyway.
Matchup representing Texas, END Sky.
I totally agree, Solid Bones, that a better strat for passing it off in that way, because that's not quite as much of a sort of blank transition. When I'm transitioning to like an ad or to a video, I'm not talking to anybody. But in the Josh case, I am. So I agree with you that a better way to handle it is to have it be more of a, more of like a command. Maybe not a command, that's too strong. But you know what I mean? Like it's, I guess the command is fine. An imperative, whatever, grammatically speaking. Yeah, I think that's fine. It's just, I didn't do a good job. It's what it is. There's any numbers of ways to have done it better.
His opponent, fighting from the UK, PXP of Foxy Grandpa.
It's going to be Scar. It's going to be Foxy Grandpa. Scar sitting down on the one-player side right there. Now, we've seen him play Sonya. We've seen him play Scorpion. We've seen Foxy.
Make some
noise. Cassie. What are you looking for here?
Yeah, pretty much the entire way through. This is, a trick we might see out of a Foxy Grandpa's tool set here is Kung Lao. Not too sure if he's going to break it out in this tense of a situation in the winner's side top 8. Scar, of course, poised. This man has been here before. You heard the smack talk in the video. He's going to be confident coming in here with Mama Blade, and it looks like one of the favorites coming in the winner's side of this without Fox, without Dragon, which is who was in the way at the Summit of Time.
I too was very happy, but a little surprised that Mortal Kombat had as much hype as it did, because I expected it to have hype. It was the most entered tournament. The Chicago scene's good, Midwest scene is good, the NRS actual like devs are there. There's a lot of reasons to think it would have been good. But then Tekken was right before this, and Tekken was ridiculous. The hype was so good. And even if, say you're a human and you have just spent like 2 hours yelling and screaming, it's hard to then do it for another 2 or 3 hours. You just have like a limited amount of like screaming bandwidth. But yeah, man, people were still hyped. And part of what happened was that, as always happens after a game's top 8 ends, some people don't care about the next one and they shuffle out. Some people do care about the next one and they shuffle in. That always happens. So it's not like it's a one-to-one. Not everybody who was at Tekken was also at Mortal. There was a little bit of changing in and out, and yeah, I think that was partly part of why there was as much noise as it was. But also on top of that, look, man, sometimes people can sustain the hype, and this was a super hype top 8, so it was good. It was definitely good.
This early MK11 competitive scene, we don't know who has been, who's going to be the Apex players coming to a brand new game, brand new system, coming over from Injustice 2. And guess what we have here in top 8? 8 familiar faces. Imagine that, UltraDavid.
So Scar got 5th at Summit. He was the only player to beat Sonic Fox.
He was. This is one of the only 2
Like I said, I want to be more prepared for top 8s. So in the past, I probably would have said something like, he's done well, or a little bit less specificity. Sometimes I definitely remember exactly where people finish in previous tournaments. Usually I don't. Usually I don't have a good brain for remembering that kind of stuff. So instead, what I did is, like I said, I drew up this like Excel doc, or ODT, because Microsoft can honk off. And in that, I had all of the info. So like I knew exactly where Scar had finished. I knew exactly where all the players had finished. I knew exactly who beat them and who did they lose to. I knew all that info. And I didn't need to retain it in my brain. It was just in a spreadsheet. So I really like how that turned out.
On the planet to beat Sonic Fox in a competitive setting. The other one happens to be on the winner side, the other side of winners in this top 8 in Tweety.
So looking up the Smash GG is useful, but it's useful for what happens in the top 8. It's a little harder to make it useful for the previous stuff, because you don't have all of that info immediately at your fingertips. You can certainly click the link back to pools and see what happened. You can certainly click the link that takes you to top 32 or top 48 and see what happened. That is all time that it takes for you to do that. It's not instant. You don't have that immediately. So what I did is I went through the Smash GG of the results from the tournament so far, and I wrote down, like I said, here's who Scar beat. He beat these 3 or 4 notable players. Like, this was his path to get here. So rather than having to go through Smash GG each time, clicking back to pool number X whatever, he beat A and B. then click the next link, and meanwhile I'm filling time and I'm not sure what to say, and hopefully it's loading quickly. Sometimes the internet's not that great. Okay, and it looks like in top 48 he beat C and D. You know, you don't want to do that. That's all time that's taken, and during that time the players are going to be doing stuff. I mean, this is only going to take so long, the button checks, right? So I only have so much time to like say what's going on in the tournament so far, and that's not just useful for me to ground it in what's going on. I want the people to know, like, here's what happened, man. Scar did great like last weekend, and here's exactly how great. And he already beat these strong players to get here. He's already had a good weekend. Like, I want to make this clear. It's part of the story. So that's why I'm preparing in that way.
You're a combo breaker.
For Foxy, it wasn't what he wanted at Summit. He got 13th. It was disappointing, but here, of course, he's already making up for that. Already minimum 5th, considering he's starting on winner's side here. So Scar beat Mustard, Biohazard, Waz, among other players. Foxy Grandpa beat Squall, ATP, Nikki, Get Wrecked, and Deoxys then in order to get into top 8.
Big win right there,
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? Like this
This is a loser's side looking so strong in his loser's run, in his winner's run. We saw what they were capable of.
Think about how rarely you hear that. I watch a lot of fighting game tournament streams, and certainly you hear sometimes that the player beat some good player to get there, but pretty rarely. In fact, even on runbacks, sometimes the commentators don't know. Oftentimes the commentators don't know. That's not always their fault. Sometimes there's not internet in the venue to like find out what happened on Smash GG. Like sometimes Smash GG is not updated. That's not always commentators' fault. Sometimes it is. Sometimes they could know that stuff, and they don't because they haven't looked it up. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to make sure that like I know what happened, and that provides an interesting set of talking points. It illuminates that Scar's great. We at the same time can make it clear that we think Deoxys is really good. Or was it Foxy who beat Deoxys? Whatever. We could use this time to talk about the players and the potential matchup and what already happened. There's so many things we could do, and if we didn't know exactly what happened, we wouldn't be able to ground it as well. I think this is a big thing. I think I like it a lot. Did I make the sheet the night before? I made the sheet during Tekken Top 8. I think that I had work to do. It was something like that. Like I had other stuff going on before that I was doing instead. I forget what it was, but I definitely made it the night before in the past. Like I did the same thing at DreamHack Dallas, and I made it the night before. So I would like to make it the night before, but sometimes that's not practical. So yeah, I just made it during Tekken Top 8. That meant, unfortunately, that I didn't see a lot of the Tekken Top 8. I didn't actually watch the Rixta match live, unfortunately. I had to go back and watch it later. But man, it was hard to make the doc while that Top 8 was going on because it was clearly so hyped. So many people were so loud and excited. So I kind of wish that I had made it earlier, but what are you going to do? I wanted to make sure that I had finished it.
During that 10v10 the other night, when are we going right into the action? This does look like to be a button check. But mentioning, we got a Texas boy here on stage. Sweet 10v10 happened the other night. 2 Floridians, 2 Texans in this top 8. The battle continues here.
That's right. Yeah, we got one.
Thanks, No Milk. Jeez, I thought I
Let's go,
lowered
ladies and
that.
gentlemen, the first match of the top 8, Scar versus Foxy. I want to hear some noise.
Make some noise.
I talked with Foxy, and he was pretty confident he would be playing against Sonya here rather than Scorpion. He basically felt if it was Scorpion, he was going to run away with this thing, and it's going to be Sonya.
I've been doing this forever, but I want to make it a better habit. I want to know what the players think. So I have often gone around to the players and just like asked them, like, hey, what do you think about playing against whatever, Foxy versus Scar? Tell me what you think about Scar. What character matchup is this going to be? You know, what do you think about his play style? What's your strategy against him? That's really cool. Like, that's cool to know. It means that as commentators, we don't have to make it up as much. And that's good for us, because then we don't come across like dinguses if we get it wrong. And if we just know it in advance, then we could just get to the analysis part rather than like kind of taking the time. Maybe he's doing this because of that. I wonder if he expects Sonya or whatever. Like, just I know. So okay, why? Like now I can analyze, which is more interesting, I think.
This is a matchup that you know both of these guys are familiar with. We're both at the summit of time. They both had multiple days of training with each other and others who use very similar characters. And this is going to come down to whoever executes the best. And, you know, in this matchup, it's going to be a lot of, I think, Scar going to Foxy here.
I think so.
Jackie says as kids, you were scared of me.
You'd randomly attack us with arm bars.
And you learned to always be ready.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. First round, Foxy Grandpa versus...
You know, she's not a great actress.
Scar, and this is exactly the matchup that I was talking about. Scar gonna get on the offensive, I think, in this matchup because of that low shot of Cassie Cage that's gonna go underneath the ring of Sonya. Does need to be careful of the crushing blow, but only gets it once per match.
Yeah, he's got to, because she typically would have strong rings, strong...
Oh, are you gonna disagree? Are you gonna disagree with me, huh?
projectile game, Sonya, but in this matchup, as we already see, it's not so the case. Oh my god, jumping over, not quite a conversion, and out of there! Foxy Grandpa wants none of that.
Gets the spacing and one of the best anti-airs in the game in the back three. Instead, Scar catching the combo. No breakaway for Foxy Grandpa. Eating every bit of his damage. Goes for the restand instead.
I like it so far. I don't have big complaints about this commentary, man. I mean, like I said, I think that my memory of it was that it went well. It's my memory of it, but I could be wrong. Sometimes you don't remember things accurately. So, but so far it's good, with the exception of that. Absolutely terrible transition, and then the not great second transition.
Confirm there. Not bothering to break.
Going to the restand himself is swinging with that 1-1. Gonna close things out. No breakaway from Scar. He's gonna feel confident on the second round, not coming off the defensive bar, wanting to save it.
Exactly, yeah, that was the decision. He might have died anyway from an uppercut. Didn't come
the
up.
stage is so cool.
Great right there. That's exactly the game plan he wants. He wants the zoning him. Okay, maybe.
And by the way, after this, maybe we'll see it. I think that they took a break between even the set rather than waiting for the next set. It's supposed to be the combo breaker stage rather than just the regular tournament stage.
He wants pressure too. That comes off of it.
Taking the throw,
and then they like fixed it.
You're gonna see a lot of tech throws in this top 8. The best in the world at breaking a mix-up that is a throw are these Mortal Kombat players. And the full screen we go, trying to call in the drone, coming in hot, not spaced out perfectly though by Scar. He's got to find his way in on these low shots of Cassie and the aerial
approach.
It's
one of the best anti-airs right there. Amazing button.
That's the Cassie game plan. Make you come to her and always have an answer, whether it's on the ground or whether it's through the air, and a Foxy Grandpa strikes first.
It's already over that first game? I blinked.
Foxy Grandpa
looks absolutely unperturbed. Everything went well for him right there. The neutral game, the zoning, the pressure worked out very well too. The little mix-ups in there, to the extent that he needed them, they were all good. That was such a blow-up. I wonder if he's going to stick with Sonya. He's clearly pontificating.
He's definitely thinking about making that possible.
All right. I was just about to talk about word choice, and then I came up with pontificating. So I know that Aquaman says absolutely a lot. A lot. And I have said it 3 times now. I don't want to get over-reliant on one particular adjective. I mentioned but that I don't want to get reliant, or I don't want to rely on filler in general. This is not necessarily filler. This is, absolutely, etc. Those are good descriptive words, and that's important. But you can easily, or at least I can anyway, fall easily into a rut of just using the same descriptors like over and over. And I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I'm mixing it up. In fact, I wonder in retrospect now if I realized that I was like, I've said absolutely 3 times. Kind of come up with some weird word, hence pontificating, right? Instead of just like thinking. There's like I don't need to come up with some SAT question word in order to like show that I'm not going to use the same words all the time. But you know what? It's fine. No big deal. I just want to make sure. And now that I'm thinking about it, I probably was recognizing the situation in the moment of saying the same word too many times and then mixing it up. Thanks. Yeah, I thought the transition was great right there. I blinked, and I wonder if he's going to stick with Sonya. I agree. I think those were good. I don't have much in the way of negative criticism there. I'm down. And I say words like that all the time in real life, pontificating, whatever. Like I don't know, weird, overly complicated, obscure words. I just do that in real life, and sometimes it's like I can think of that, but not like, what's the common term? What's thinking? Like it takes me a while. Rather, sometimes words just pop in, and it's like, oh, the weird one, from the SATs. So that is my personality. So to the extent that gets my personality across, I guess that's fine. I don't know. Did they make an announcement for the combo breaker stage? What do you mean? It's going to be here. If I quit pausing the video so often.
Switch to Scorpion, that is his backup, especially against characters that he finds is a struggle to get in on. You know, has these annoying projectiles, but he's going to bet it all on Mama Blade right here in game number 2.
Yeah, I think this is the better call. It's just that his game plan didn't quite work out. Fox is one of the best at dealing with it.
Listen, Sonya only needs to make 1 to 2 good reads on the way in to really...
We saw that in the first round.
Take away a health bar.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
there's a chance!
Here we go.
Will there be a break? Okay, finally it comes. Probably intending to try to find something there, but no. What a... Oh, my team backed off just in time.
Restand again, goes with the 1-1, and that's the second time, and that kind of covers, it almost OS's them, try to take the throw as well, getting that 1-1 out, they crouch that, and then they have a...
Oh, at the event, did they do an unveiling for the new stage? No, the stage was out. The stage was publicly out, I would say a week before Combo Breaker. So we all knew about it. We all knew about it. And the previous day of the tournament had been all on the Combo Breaker stage. Or maybe not all of it, but you know what I mean, like it had been there. And it was even before it was like playable, they had already shown a picture of it. So they definitely like had an announcement. They were like, check it out. Like they definitely did do that, but it wasn't at Combo Breaker. It was before that.
Mid coming really quick.
Totally,
what a
Fox
start.
the grandpa right here, completely in control.
Round 2.
Oh my
Super
goodness,
cool,
this
man.
has been-
I agree.
Coming
It's
into
awesome.
this, I said it was going to be a Scar going to Foxy.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
And even if that is the only way to that's the only way to play the matchup, he is punishing you for it. Jumping at him, back 3. Keep coming in grounded. Look at these advancing meds that are stopping me.
Saving it. Saving the breakaway. Again!
Oh, breakaway
What is
again
going
from
on?
Scar. I mean,
He's in big trouble.
His life is dwindling. You needed to come up that breakaway. Now you're putting yourself
Oh
on
no!
life. Oh my
He's
goodness.
keeping it unbreakable right there. Fox Grandpa still pressuring. Oh, he didn't meter her for the safety.
He did have the bar, and now he's sitting with no breakaway. And what
tried
a
to hold
disrespect! Are you kidding me? What a read from Foxy Grandpa. Championship caliber decision making right now.
It's good. I feel that was good. I feel that I did a bunch of the things that I wanted to do. There was one thing that I haven't done yet, and that is to do the little narrative flourish that I was talking about before. But I did definitely do the like breathing stuff, and I definitely was doing the lack of filler stuff, and I definitely was keeping my voice not monotonous. Like I feel like I did a lot of good things right there. I'm pretty happy with that, honestly. I mean, I thought that this one went well. So here, my game plan today in terms of this stream was, all right, let's look at this Showdown stream, which was terrible. Look at all these things I did wrong. And then show the Combo Breaker one, which happened 2 weeks later in real life. And wow, look at all the improvements that I had made. I am working on this. Still got a ways to go, but like here's a clear improvement. And it turns out the reality is not quite as cut and dry, but I do think that it was good. They do have an Evo version. We know that. We know that they have a CEO version. You'll see that this coming weekend. So yeah, they definitely have that stuff.
Here from the...
Although I believe that those... Okay, yeah, you just said... Jiggy just said... Those event stages, I think that they were mined. I think that they were data mined. I don't think that those have been publicly shown off by NRS itself, but they definitely do exist. Okay, servers go down tomorrow. That makes sense that it'll come out tomorrow then.
Okay, and looking so strong to start out the top 8, threatening to make his way into winners finals just like that.
What?
Start out the top 8, threatening to make his way into winners finals just like that.
Okay, well, that's maybe a little bit too extreme. I think my intention there was probably that I had been maybe sounding a little too monotonous and that I needed to mix it up. Let's listen to this again.
From the UK and looking so... Here from the UK and looking so strong to start out the top 8, threatening to make his way into winners finals just like that.
You know, that's fine. I guess it just sounds kind of funny.
It doesn't look like Sonya is quite gonna cut it. If he goes to Scorpion, takes away the zoning, and he can't get in Sonya's face much easier with the teleport cancel. He can at least close the gap.
That's the idea, but like I said, I talked with Foxy Grandpa before the start. He thought that if there is a Scorpion, that this is going to be even easier than if it was the Sonya. He felt very confident at dealing with the teleport or the teleport cancel.
We'll see how things unfold right now. Scar, a different caliber Scorpion than a lot of people might be used to. Going back to the character select, I wonder if Scar might be thinking differently.
We'll see. Scorpion.
Cassie Cage.
I see where we're going. Okay, we're going.
That's an interesting idea, Clackman, that I don't think I've heard people talk about. To have the fatality screen only be at the end of a tournament set rather than at the end of an individual game. I just think that while I would like that, I don't think that other people would. I think that would be pretty frowned upon. It's rare that you see people actually do fatalities after the first or second game that they win. That is to say, not the last game that ends the set. It's pretty rare, but you do see it, and it like gives a chance for the player to, it's like going back to the character select screen in other games where you just take some time and reset things, so it's a little delay that can help you. Or maybe you get to get pumped up, or maybe you rub it in the opponent's face, and whatever. All that stuff can like be helpful in terms of the meta game, the game outside the game. That's true. That would also mean giving up the ability to do a mercy. But I myself agree entirely that it would be great to have fewer fatalities to have to sit through during a set. Like the fact that when you're playing online, when you do a fatality, you get more of the hearts, and that means you can open up the heart containers in the crypt, and those take a lot and they're hard to get. So you have an incentive to do fatalities every time you can online. And I hate that. I hate how long that takes me to get through sets. Now, in the Combat League, it happens less often because other people, I think, have the same mindset that I do, where they just want to play the video game. But when I was before the Combat League and just regular ranked, or if I play casual, if I'm trying to learn a new character, that happens so much.
Oh, here we go. Combo breaker about to be in the background as well.
It happens to you in KL still, geez.
2-0 Foxy Grandpa. What can Scar do right now? This has been 4 straight rounds of utter dominance, UltraDavid.
Blow up so far, to be honest. I didn't think it would go like that, but now he switched things up. It's the new character. Okay, it's not quite there. This is what he wants. So he wants that mobility to get around her zoning. He wants to be able to get in. He wants to enforce some of his mix-ups. But he can also play this lame game. He's not zoning. He's not dealing damage. But he's playing a lame game. And like I said, Foxy, part of why he felt so confident is that when it comes to playing lame, is there anybody better than Foxy Grandpa at that?
I mean, this has been his play style going back generations of Mortal Kombat, of Injustice. He loves to play nice and slow. He loves to frustrate you. And this is going to be a change-up from Scar, as Scorpion does not care what your game plan is. No. He's going to execute the one of his own.
He's got his own. Yeah, absolutely right.
I think Aquaman did really well, too. I was happy for him in terms of how it went. Bummer about his voice being dead, but I thought he handled it really well. It was cool.
There's no stopping Scorpion from doing.
I mean, everybody who's commentating now is good. Everybody's good.
What Scorpion wants to do here, you got the teleport. The teleport cancels. You've got the full screen spear. Not going to go punished, but the low gunshot is going to be the check here from Foxy.
And by the way, great strings if he needs them. Great crushing blows if he needs them.
Phenomenal stagger games Scorpion have. Not really mix-up heavy, but stagger heavy. That can open you up with the crushing blows. The throw always a threat. And just like that, almost unreactable teleport cancel. Here we go! And that was
He was looking for a break, nothing came.
Man, Reborn Scorp is some crazy crap. I don't know if he's the best in the game, but he's one of the best at minimum. And dude, some crazy crap.
Did not want to commit to spear. Foxy now needs to try to go. Oh, there's spear after all.
Did have the bar, didn't come off.
Oh, it's a punish. Yes, of course.
Wow. Wake up 3 by Scar, completely invincible. of the two wake-up options that are attacks. And
Penalty for not doing a fatality? I don't know. I mean, that's a funny idea, but probably not. Probably wouldn't go over very well either.
Is on the board.
This looks better.
To switch to Scorpion again, just changing up the pace of the match that Foxy already set the tone for. Oh, trying to punish too early.
Who said that? Was that me or Aquaman?
The match that Foxy already set the tone for. Oh, trying to punish too early.
I think that's me, but that doesn't sound like either of us. I think that must be me, but like doing the voice diaphragm thing. I think so. I really don't know.
Oh, trying to punish too early. And we're definitely all...
I don't know. Oh, that's funny. I actually don't know which one of us that was. Well, this is not even like a me and Sageham situation where our voices do actually sound pretty close. Well, I do not sound like Aquaman, but right there, hard to tell. My guess is that that's me. I think that's me, but I think that that's me doing like the so, you know, kind of having the diaphragm active and like letting the air kind of barely go out. It's kind of what it sounds like, but I really don't know. That doesn't sound like Aquaman either, because Aquaman's voice is dead. I don't think he could even do that.
Oh, trying to punish too early.
And have you ever heard him say that? I don't think that sounds like an Aquaman thing to say. That is to say, not the words, but sort of the like rhythm of it. I really don't know. Do you think it sounds like him? I really don't know. It's definitely Macho Man. Oh man, okay, let's see. One last time.
Already set the tone. Oh, trying to punish too early. We're definitely all susceptible to that right there. What's the guess?
Oh man, that's great.
And not even broken away,
great.
just fell out of the combo right there.
Well, I still don't know, but all right, everybody thinks it's Aquaman. That's, you know, could be right.
It's not a situation where you need to guess. You can OS between the two, and Foxy was telling me that he knows he can do it. He felt confident at that, like I said.
I am loving that I'm seeing short hops late in this bracket just to try to bait movement, just like we see flip stance utilized in Mortal Kombat games and other things. It's all about trying to bait movement. That short hop also going to go over low shot. I think Scar's trying to play some kind of crazy game right now.
Here's a chance on the whip punish. There's no breakaway available.
Listen to how this sounds.
Here's a chance on the...
I think Scar's trying to play some kind of crazy game right now.
Here's a chance...
This is clearly me. When I say, here. Don't you think that sounds like how it sounded before?
Low shot? I think Scar's trying to play some kind of crazy game right now.
Here's a chance...
Imagine if I had said that whole sentence in the same way that I said here at the beginning of it. I don't know. I think we'll never know which one of us said that earlier.
Steal the damage.
What's for breakfast here? Oh, swinging with the high, and Foxy Grandpa, the best in the world at purposefully neutral ducking.
PND Grandpa. Trying to make something happen. A little bit of stagger, no anti-air.
Dang, that was really fast.
Those little bits of... And it's a slave. Those little bits of damage one at a time.
Okay, hold on.
Having a little bit of stagger, no... Trying to make something happen. A little bit of stagger, no anti-air.
Wow. I've never talked that fast on purpose, for sure. Like, if you were to ask me to say that sentence as fast, I really feel like I'd stumble over it. But somehow, in the moment, I talk fast. And that happens sometimes. This is not the only time I've heard myself do that. I do it in real life sometimes too, although maybe not that extreme. But it's hard for me to talk fast on purpose. Does that happen to you guys? But when I'm just like in the moment, sometimes it does come out. I don't know. And then, what else was I gonna say? There's something else after this.
D Grandpa. Trying to make something happen. A little bit of stagger, no anti-air.
Wow.
And it's a slave. Those little bits of damage one at a time.
Oh my goodness.
I wonder what I was going for there. I wonder if like maybe I had something in mind to say and then I thought better of it. I don't know. Anyway.
But a stagger no anti-air. And it's a Slayer. Those little bits of damage on at a time.
Oh my goodness, looking for the RKO with the overhead.
I'm not opposed to it though. I think I kind of okay.
That's what he's looking for. And with the down 2, no crushing blow though.
Okay.
And just swing it. And Foxy Grandpa moves to match point.
Well, one thing I will say about speaking faster though is that I feel that if you're doing the like breathing techniques that I've been talking about, I do think that it's easier for me. I don't know if that's everybody's experience, but as I said before, like having like the kind of diaphragm breath idea has helped me. I feel like I can speak faster and better, not just in terms of like the mechanics of speaking, but in how my brain deals with speaking. I don't know. I feel like it's an improvement in both ways. I'm not really sure what the process is that has made that happen, but seems like what's going on. That's how it feels for sure.
So Scar is looking better, but it may not be enough. Stan Lamb on the other side of the screen. What an anti-air!
Full screen anti-air gunshot. You know, Foxy is just smiling right there.
I mean, it's kind of a risky take.
What I like about that moment was that I think I reacted well to it. I feel like I'm talking myself up so much. It was not the intention with this stream, but
Stan Lamb on the other side of the screen. What an anti-air!
I think that's a good reaction.
Anti-air gunshot. You know, Foxy is just smiling right there.
I mean, it's kind of a risky.
I mean, I've talked about this in the past too. I used to stutter a lot. I was very stuttery. I mean, I knew people who were worse than me, but not many. And what helped me the most was figuring out what words were hard for me to start sentences with and not doing them. That's part of why I think that I've been able to monitor my own commentary well. It's part of why I've come to view commentating as I said earlier, coming up with a product and then putting on an assembly line and then having quality control before the words actually get released to the outside. That's my view of it. It's like that's what I feel I'm doing, and I feel that I have been doing that for a really long time, because if I try to start a sentence with certain letters like S, in fact I was just gonna do it. I was just thinking about starting a phrase with S, and that's hard. That is a hard noise for me. So instead I switched to saying S. But that's right. I'm starting that sentence with the letter S, but that's easier to say than starting it with S. And I have become so accustomed to having to switch up the words that I was otherwise going to say in order to get around the stuttering that I think that that's kind of prepared me accidentally for being able to commentate. I was never like the worst at stuttering, but it came up pretty frequently, and there were so many words that I just felt like I couldn't start a sentence with. And that not only made me pay attention to the words that I was going to say, but also made me learn different ways to say things. Because if I can't start a sentence with an S sound or an I sound, some other consonants were hard, then I need to know different ways to say what I wanted to say. So it helped me learn other stuff too. It probably would have been nice to not have to deal with that at all, but the fact that I did was, probably helpful for what I'm doing now. You whistle your S sounds. Oh yeah, do you edit it out? Do you edit out the whistle? Yeah, that makes sense.
Take two at any moment that could happen. He could be in your face.
So right there, he's looking to try to bait out Foxy, going for the anti-air, and that's what the teleport does. With almost any teleport character, we're going to see Seth John here in a little bit.
That's right.
Same exact mind game. Smart stuff out of both of these players. Foxy not taking the bait, and I think Scar maybe even caught that and walking into a whip punish from Foxy Grandpa with the resend. What's going to be the mix? Trying to disrespect the Star. Still gets anti-air.
Again, the whip punish comes. Foxy Grandpa's looking perfect right now. There's no more breakaway meter. If he gets caught, he's in big trouble. Escape failed. You know that's the danger words right there against Scorp. Other characters with crushing blows on their throws.
Scorpion, one of the few that his crushing blow throw does do damage over time, and it could just put you in a pressure situation that is crouchable at the end, but you never know if the up kick is going to come as the mid, and that's the mix-up of Cascade's pressure and just swinging afterwards. No pickup. The up three, what's going to use this hit stun? Nothing but blocks so far.
Dang, when was the last time I talked? Let's see.
Against Scorp, other characters with crushing blows on their throws.
Scorpion, one of the few that his
21-18
crushing
in the
blow throw
clock.
does do damage over time, and it could just put you in a pressure situation that is crouchable at the end, but you never know if the up kick is going to come as the mid, and that's the mix-up of Cascade's pressure and just swinging afterwards. No pickup. The up three, what's going to use this hit stun? Nothing but blocks so far.
That's all the meter.
That was 17 seconds in which I only said, I like it. I'm cool with that. I don't need to always be talking. And if I feel that my co-commentator is doing a good job, or if it seems like they want to really continue and I don't have something that's like of pressing importance to jump in with, I don't need to say anything. That's totally fine. I don't need to always insert myself into that situation. So, cool. I thought Aquaman was doing well. No need to interrupt. And then when he kind of came to this moment where he was done, I could tell.
The up three, what's going to use this hit stun?
Oops, sorry.
Pick up.
Back up here.
Never know if the up kick is going to come as the mid, and that's the mix-up of Cascade's pressure and just swinging afterwards. No pickup. The up three, what's going to use this hit stun? Nothing but blocks so far.
That's all the meter though.
That was really good recognition, I think, on both of our commentator sides. He, I think properly recognized that it was like his turn to keep going. Like, he was doing a good job. There was no reason to switch in terms of who was saying stuff. And maybe in the past I would have interrupted too early. This would have been too early here. Let's go back.
And just swinging afterwards. No pickup. The up three, what's going to use this hit stun? Nothing but
right there. That could be interpreted as a break and that it is the other person's turn to talk. But I think that it should not be interpreted that way, because I think he sets it up.
Mix up
Listen.
of Cascade's pressure and just swinging afterwards. No pickup. The up three, what's going to use this hit stun? Nothing but
Right. So he kind of asked a question in his commentary and was the one to answer it, which I think is totally right. Totally right. Yeah, great. I mean, good job.
so far.
That's all the meter though. Here we go. There is breakaway. Yes, it comes. Oh yeah, you need to tech that. He did. That would have been, could have been a big crushing blow depending on the direction.
Oh,
he
my
was hoping
goodness.
to see a mark. Look at the time. 12 seconds.
No pickup off that. Is this going to be a confirmed? No breakaway out of Foxy. Is it going to be enough?
How do you chase
6 seconds.
Scorpion down? Can you
5,
chase Scorpion
4.
down? He went in and wasn't punished. Is it enough?
1 second and score with few seconds remaining. Taking game number 3. We got ourselves a match.
Wow, that's crazy. I totally forgot about how this ended.
12 seconds.
No pickup.
First of all, he didn't punish teleport? Jeez. I'm watching the match. I should be listening to myself.
Breakaway. Yes, it comes. Oh yeah, you need to tech that. He did. That would have been, could have been a big crushing blow depending on the direction.
Oh,
he
my
was hoping
goodness.
to see a mark.
I'd rather not start every big moment with O, but I guess it's okay sometimes.
Look at the time. 12 seconds.
No pickup off that. Is this going to be a confirmed? No breakaway out of Foxy. Is it going to be enough?
How do you chase
6 seconds.
Scorpion down?
5,
Can you chase Scorpion
4.
down? He went in and wasn't punished. Is it enough?
1 second and score with few seconds remaining. Taking game number 3. We got ourselves a match.
I think that went well. My only point of criticism is that I don't need to say O, because that's one of those fillers that I've been talking about. That's a way to just react without thinking. And that's great if you're just hanging out in the crowd. Like I said, that's when I lose my voice anyway, right? Like I'm just yelling. That's what I would say if I was in the crowd. I would be like, oh, I would have been doing that. But that's not what I should be doing on commentary. On commentary, I should be doing what I did the rest of that, which was words and sentences and still excited and still imparting that it's a hype moment and feeling it for sure, but without just O. O doesn't get anything. It doesn't get you anywhere. There's no meaning to it other than that it's excitement, but there's ways to say excitement that aren't just O. So that's my only point of criticism there. I wish that I hadn't done that, but then I didn't do it afterwards. So nice work on that. It is definitely a genuine reaction. Definitely a genuine reaction. saying "oh." That's what I'd be doing if I were in the crowd, and that wouldn't be anything. There's no reason to make that up, right? That's just that's what I would do in real life, and do. There's no hypothetical about that. That's what I do. But on the mic, I can feel that genuine reaction and also not have the same outcome that everybody else in the crowd also has. Like I need to have some, why am I on the mic if I'm going to just be yelling what I would do if I were not on the mic? Like I need to say words. I did do that afterward. That was good. And I think the interplay was good too. I agree. Yeah, that's my one critique there, but not a lot.
The unflappable Scar. Look at his face. It's as if nothing happened, and they're back in.
Okay, I think this is a point to be taken seriously. So James the Powerhead says, I like it when occasionally the commentators feel like one of us regular spectators. Some moments are just too cool. So I think I agree, but I think that I can also get across that like I'm feeling the same moment, the same emotion and hype without saying the same thing that everybody else is saying. So in the crowd, not everybody is yelling, oh, some people are just screaming. Some people are saying, yeah, or whatever. There's any number of reactions people have to it that are just very genuine, but that's not, I think that the important point of that is that they are feeling the genuine excitement, and then what they say is a little less important. That is to say, if I were mirroring what they said, I don't think be showing that I feel the same way. The showing of that is in the emotion. It's in the voice rather than in the words. So I think, be saying words that aren't what everybody else is saying, because that's like not what I should be doing at all. I should have something more to add. Yeah, saying oh is fine. I mean, if there's meaning to it, and one way, as you say, is to say something quizzically like oh, if somebody does something confusing. That makes sense. I think that's a perfectly defendable way to use oh. I just don't want to use it too much. It's okay. I mean, I don't think that this came across as bad. I don't think this was like a big error or anything. It's just, in sort of my ideal commentary, I don't think that I would say that in this situation. No, I think I understand your point, James. That you feel like there's a connection between the commentators and the spectators because the commentators and the spectators are having the same reaction. I think that's an understandable point. But again, I think that I can get that across without saying the same thing, but by feeling the same thing and imparting that I'm feeling the same way. But I don't know, I'll think about it and maybe you're right. I don't want to say that I'm certain about this, but that's, I think, my current take on it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I just did it. But how to phrase this? I'm more okay with that here. And again, before I didn't think it was a big error to say oh before then actually having a sentence to say. I don't think that was like a big problem. It's just, maybe around the edges, not as frequent. Here I think it's fine because this is the kind of different use of oh that we were just talking about. It's not the quizzical oh, but it's not the typical oh, it's a little different. I think that's fine. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Ready. Start with the knockdown and stand away.
All right, well, I'll think about keeping O in mind for
to make sure the opponent
some situations at least.
Exactly.
He's been caught here every single time. Finally, he was patient and the grab comes.
So in that moment, I like what I did to first of all say this, but I want to point it out
been caught here every single time. Finally, he was patient and the grab comes.
I really like how that patient came out. So this is an instance for sure of me thinking about what I'm going to say before I say it and knowing what the words are going to be, and then being able to kind of fit my breath and my rhythm and pitch and whatever to the idea. And I think that it came out really well. If I was just kind of meandering through without knowing where the sentence was going to go, then I wouldn't have that same but puff of patient, which I think came out cool.
Oh my goodness.
Ready. Start with the knockdown and stand away. That's the threat. Sometimes you do have to bring it out to make sure the opponent recognizes there is a threat.
Exactly.
He's been caught here every single time. Finally, he was patient and the grab comes.
That was good. Yeah, definitely the meaning of the second O there was for sure about how it was a call out. That's a good way to phrase it. And yeah, Rock-A-Rye, what up? But yeah, I think that it's good to question all the little bits of your commentary. Just like when you're figuring out how to be a strong player, you need to be questioning all of the things. And I think that leads to better play and commentary and whatever else you're working on. Like, you have to be willing to question whether something is good. Maybe it is good. Maybe you end up deciding it is good after all. But to have the introspection is really helpful, I think, in terms of finding what the actual good stuff is.
The stagger full tech from Scar here, trying to make this approach. Look at this mobility, walking in and then walking into the range of a normal, backdashing out of it, looking for the whiff punish. That's what all these little micro movements are, and that has been nothing but a mind game between both of these players. That teleport or teleport cancel from Scar here.
Here's
gonna be a punish.
Okay, I got some damage there with that uppercut.
Now, when you see these characters do a breakaway, when they fall into the combos, they are armored, and you want to get the maximum amount of damage in the armor as possible. That's what that down 2 is for.
Look at that
And
damage.
bleeding right now is Foxy,
Bleeding
and
out,
the
and
Sam one gonna do it.
That was all you needed. You got.
So I don't want to say that this is never good, but I think that it's, in a moment like this, not great that Aquaman kept talking about the explanation.
That down 2 is for. And you away when they fall into the
So that happened, this breakaway in down 2
Here's gonna be a punish.
at 48.7 game seconds.
Okay, I got some damage there with that uppercut.
Now,
My intention behind saying that is to sort of explain in shorthand why he did it. He expected that there would be a breakaway, so down 2, because that's one of the most damaging options in that situation, is pretty safe. It's not gonna blow you up if there is a breakaway, and if there's not, like, it's still good damage, right? Or you get through the armor, you deal some damage, whatever. Shorthand. And then Aquaman, I think, talks about it too long.
When they fall into the combos, they are armored, and you want to get the maximum amount of damage in the armor as possible. That's what that down 2 is for.
Look at that damage.
So
Bleeding right now is Foxy.
it was about 10 seconds of game time, and that's, I mean, there are situations where that's totally fine. If this were pools, or if this even, say this is the first game of this set, or it's not about to kill situation here for Scar, there's definitely time for that, but I think this is probably not it. So anyway, that's my thought on that.
Bleeding
And
out,
the Sam one gonna do it.
that was all you needed. Your guts are pouring out. That was enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, when I have just exposition to give and I feel that it's going to take too long, I'll just abandon it. And I've been saying that I want to know where sentences are going. That's part of that is because that is a better way to speak succinctly, is to know exactly what you're going to say. And now it's hard to be exact about what you're going to say, but to have the idea prepared is a way to minimize how long it might take you. You don't need to pick out every single word necessarily, but to sort of know what you're going to say is helpful for how long it's going to take you to say it. If you don't know what it's going to say, you're just going to ramble. So I think that's part of it right there. So if I think that it's going to take overly long, then I will cut it off. I'll just literally next idea. A big thing happens, talk about the thing, right? Rather than continuing my explanation. My explanation is not as important as like continuing with the action or what the players are deciding, their choices. A choice from 10 seconds ago is interesting, but less relevant than what the choices are being made right now. So the time to do that is beforehand or in between a match or round, or if it's not a particularly big situation. So again, this is we're in top 8. It's, you know, a potentially deciding game right here. 2-2 or 3-1 is the outcome of this set right now. That's a huge thing. And the round was almost over. This is, I think, a moment to like be talking about what's happening. And if you want to have the expository notes, then the time for that is like in between rounds or something. You know, it's not a big problem. I don't think this is like a major mistake, but as with the O earlier, in order to be, you know, or in order to improve, I think this is like a small thing to work on.
Lovely.
Be a restand. All right. What's the mix up right here? And he has done that 3 or 4 times. Scar finally making him pay for that.
Tried to follow up, but wasn't quite there.
Saying don't throw a high at me either. What's the mind game going to be? Anticipation for both players. Scar is all about playing that poke strike game in his pressure with Scorpion. We saw it all throughout the tournament when he does go to the spear. Oh no!
Oh, the whiff! No punish. Big opportunity. A big opportunity there.
I think that was good, like making my voice sound different between the 2 moments there. Let me show you what I mean.
Oh no!
Oh, the whiff!
So the whiff is a big situation. It's a big, I mean, I would call it an error, but I wouldn't say that probably on commentary. It is though, and I want to make that, I want to get that across.
And no punish.
And then the second part of it is no punish. I guess maybe now I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure why I changed, but I like how that sounds. I guess I'll have to think about why I like how that sounds. But I like the difference between having the kind of like heightened voice first part of it, and then the more relaxed voice second part of it. I don't know. I think it sounds cool.
A big opportunity.
I guess I don't know. Do you need a better reason than it sounds cool? You know, maybe not, but I'd like to sort of understand it better. I'll think about it.
And there!
Oh,
it's a little scrambly.
Could have come off the bar and there was no breakaway for Foxy.
And the
oh my goodness. Oh,
the
no, that's a
instant
spot.
kill.
Oh, goodness.
The instant kill brutal. We saw it in top 16. We see it in top 8 right here. I don't care if you have life.
There was nothing
to survive,
you could do about that.
You are done. If you have less life than the throw deals in damage, you are out of there.
That is
no
an
tech available.
Octo brutality right there. So smart and possibly calculated there by Scar.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him go for it on purpose.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah, naturally.
This is a different game, David.
I think I could have done a better job at being succinct about what that explanation was. I think I probably didn't get that out fast enough or briefly enough. But, you know, all right, whatever.
The Scorpion, just a change up of pace, is exactly what Scar needed.
Yeah, I'll say.
He was sick and tired of the grind, the hustle of trying to get to Cassie Cage with Sonya Blade. He said, you know what? I'm coming in regardless.
Just get on the other side of the screen. No, it's fine. Float right through with the Scorpion teleport, and that's really been the game changer. Foxy Grandpa, like I said, he sounded like he was confident in dealing with this, but so far, by the way, it's not just been teleport, but that's been a big part in opening Foxy up.
Absolutely. The increased mobility, you know, always having that threat means that he can kind of walk the screen a little more than he could with Sonya.
Exactly, yeah.
And, you know, it's not mindless.
ST rules? What do you mean? Oh, the throw. Maybe that is a good way to put it. I mean, they are kind of ST rules anyway. Throws always do a little bit of damage in Mortal Kombat, even if you tech it. You always take a little bit of damage. So it is ST-like in that sense. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
But smart. So
I don't know how many people watching Mortal Kombat 11 in 2019 would understand it if I said it's like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo from 1994, but you know, point taken.
From
I get it.
Foxy Grandpa, that he could just gunshot all day long against Cassie Cage. Not the same here against Scorpion.
Yeah, that strategy has to be different between the characters here.
Give them a few moments, guys. They are looking at the console.
Dang, this is when they switch the consoles? Jeez.
2 games apiece. This is the first match of top 8.
I know, what
for
a start.
MK11, baby.
Yeah, it's already been good. I've already loved to see the comeback, the difference in decisions that we've seen out of Scar.
This is kind of assy. I didn't remember this at the time, but so they're switching the console. Well, I'll just talk as we're talking.
Great. And you can see Foxy's face up there. He needs to figure something out. You know, he's.
Well, maybe I'll pause actually because we'll talk about how to fill. But bad time to ice the players, don't you think? Just wait until like the literally next game because it's definitely the last game of the set, and then the next players will come up. I don't know why they did it right then. You asked for it right then, Foxy? Oh, I thought that they only switched the console in order to get the version of the stage that had the combo breaker background, but you thought that it was lagging instead. I did not realize. Okay. All right, man. Well, never mind on my about to be rant. That's why you punished or didn't punish the teleport? Wow. Sure. It would be very nice from a commentary perspective to always know like what's up. That'd be hard to do. Just logistically speaking, hard to always prioritize letting the commentators know. But I would like to have known what was up. I'll just listen to what we were saying, but I think what I thought at the time was that there was like a stick problem. I don't remember.
It's not a runaway. It's not a runaway for sure by Scar, but he does need a little bit more, something else to make happen here. Dealing with the teleports has not been as easy as you had hoped for. Dealing with the throw game from Scorpion, the pestering from Scorpion has not been as easy as you might have thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Once he's gotten in your face, Scar looks
he says absolutely all the time. I told you.
so comfortable in the pressure of Scorpion that I don't really see out of other Scorpion players. He kind of has his own unique playstyle of pressure, a lot of mix up between either, and it's kind of crazy. You know, he'll go down three,
Yeah.
stand 1, down 3, down 3, throw.
It's not wild stuff.
Down 3, throw.
He's not going crazy.
Down 3, stand 1. And he mixes it up so well in that Scorpion pressure. And it looks like Foxy just hasn't made the adjustment and is not ready to be dealing with something that's in his...
Hey, could you hear us at the time, Foxy? Can you hear what we're saying right now? When you were there?
Face, rather than having a space to play with.
Well,
I think that's what's been the key for Scar here.
That sounds
being
right to me.
in his face.
We're following the action live right now, but of course you can follow the action anytime if you follow at NRS
That's
Esports
good.
on
Probably
Twitter.
good that you couldn't hear it.
That's a great hub to find out exactly what's going on with the competitive Mortal Kombat scene, whether there's a tournament going on or anything else. Follow them.
Absolutely. Throughout the entire year, the pro competition is going an awful long time. A lot of events. Check them out. They've done an amazing job of covering Combo Breaker here with highlights from the crowd, from the players, from the commentators, from everyone. They have been covering everything, and they're going to give them a massive shout-outs, the guys over there at NRS Esports, for showcasing what this entire scene is all about.
Exactly right. Yeah, shout outs to them. Thanks a lot for joining us again. This is the first match of Combo Breaker 2019 Top 8 from Mortal Kombat 11. Now, we've seen the switch from Scar.
So we definitely don't know what's up. I mean, I would have said it on the mic otherwise, because whenever we find out what's going on, I always want to let people know so that they're not, also like wondering what's going on. But I don't know at the moment. So how to deal with this? Well, this is like one of the harder parts of commentary. To just fill time is something I had to learn how to do. It was not an obvious thing. Like a lot of commentary, although I've had to improve a lot at it, and I'm still trying to, some of the things felt fairly natural, like being excited. I get excited. Okay, check. Knowing what is in the game. Okay, I play the game. I get it. Like those things feel like they're natural. When I'm watching a match, even before this, like even before I ever commentated, hanging out with friends, we would always just be talking about what's going on in the match. That feels very natural too. But filling time? Weird.
From Sonya to Scorpion. You mentioned it's not just Cassie. for Foxy Grandpa.
So part of why I made the little doc I was talking about earlier, the spreadsheet with all the player info and the players, how they had done in their paths so far and the characters that they've been using, yada yada. Part of why is just in case we got to fill time. It's not just because I think it's good to tell those details before the players start playing, but also what if we have to sit still and fill time for 10 minutes? Like, what am I going to talk about? Well, I want to know. I want to have a game plan. So now I do.
Does he have the cojones to make the possible switch to Kung Lao? Speaking of the Mortal Kombat community, the entire FGC, look at these guys behind us. You guys having a great time out there?
Oh, his voice is going. You can hear it.
That's all I can hear.
A great look at the crowd here at Combo Breaker, which has been packed the entire weekend.
It's cool, man. You got a bunch of NRS developers right there.
All the various
You got a bunch of the old school.
I've had a blast so
Some
far
of those guys are not so old school, but you got a bunch of the
this is always one of my favorite weekends.
NRS FGC.
This time in
Pretty
particular
cool.
has been one of the best for me.
Absolutely record-breaking attendance. So many people here. Mortal Kombat on the spotlight, by the way. Getting this prime position here on Sunday night. Most entrants ever at Combo Breaker. You guys are incredible. Every single one of you that has entered, every single one of you that has watched. I want to say a personal thank you to each and every single one of you.
That's a classic way to fill time, is to thank everybody for watching. It's a nice thing to do anyway, but it's hard to find time for that if there's just a regular match going on. The regular match cycle is going on. So if there's something you want to say, and there's not obvious time for it, but now you have a lot of time, there you go.
Sounds like they're back into character select, checking the buttons there on the stage, on the select screen rather. So I heard.
This is definitely also a time, you guys are right to point out, that if you have something you wanted to explain during a previous match that you didn't think you had time for in the moment, now's the time to say, hey, remember in the last game when X or Y happened, and here's why it happened, and this is what I think was going on. This is a good time for that, for sure.
Scorpion, and I heard Cassie Cage. There may not be a switch here after all. As you said, I mean, I wouldn't expect to see the Kung Lao here. It's obviously one of his favorite characters, and he thinks that the character's underrated as well. But, you know, Cassie's doing a lot of work here, even with a couple losses.
Yeah, absolutely. When you only have one game left.
I think that was already dead when I was in the UK.
The tournament stage, folks. Give it up. We are not just watching here at Combo Breaker 2019. We are playing on Combo Breaker stage.
Let's go.
That's so cool that they made that stage. Or maybe it was still alive, but it was like a ghost of itself. I forget.
First blood going to Scar here with the teleporter throw. It's just a raw spear. Get over here.
What a start from Scar. That rest did not seem to put him off his game at all. He's right back to doing what he wants to do. Foxy trying to chase. But what does it mean to chase a Scorpion to the corner?
He can reverse the position just like that. And you saw how many times he teleported, canceled into a down three. This time actually going for the full strength, looking to catch Foxy, pressing buttons.
Okay, that wasn't a lot of damage, but I'm impressed with the keep up. I like it.
What was it? I was actually just listening and not watching.
This time actually going for the full strength, looking to catch Foxy, pressing buttons.
Okay, that wasn't a lot of damage, but I'm impressed with the keep up. I like it.
The full strength, looking to catch Foxy, pressing buttons.
I don't know. You're just doing the string, right? But that's cool.
Damage, but I'm impressed with the keep up. I like it.
Wow, wake up throw. Scar recognizing the whiff of the entire string. In recovery was Cassie there. Back to full screen we go. And this is a full screen footsie game that we got. Teleport, no teleport, gunshot, spear. What's it gonna be?
That little gnat just fluttering on the left side of the stage right there. At any time he can be back in your face. There he is. Oh, and no punish.
Well, I thought what I heard was that earlier there was no punish on account of the console. That's what I thought.
Gonna be
that little gnat just fluttering on the left side of the stage right there. At any time he can be back in your face. There he is. Oh, and no punish.
Oh my goodness. And Foxy Grandpa, one of the best at punishing those.
Yeah, it's all good, dude.
It'll be a raw fatal blow. Is it gonna be enough?
You better be looking for those shields. Yep, I'm seeing the shields, and I'm seeing
Reborn
the skulls.
Scorp is so good, man. It's so weird.
20 health remaining.
What a character. What a character, you know?
Just patient. Didn't want to take any risks at all. He's away.
Oh my goodness!
And that was a
Are you
counter
kidding
hit.
me?
That was a counter hit. He tried to punish too early. That's match point, just like that for.
I mean, it's hard to find that timing of where you can punish both the amplified and non-amplified. It's only like is it like 3 or 4 frame window? Pretty small.
Scar, who's won 2.5 games
Hard to do in a big
row.
moment, I'm sure.
After 4 straight rounds losing.
Yeah.
And a change of a character. This is what it's all about. Full screen, get over here into the corner. Good position. Try to Oki with the throw. Beautiful wake-up jump by Foxy. That is a phenomenal read. Reverse position.
And he's got the corner control. And oh, there you go. He knew where he was. It wasn't much damage, though. There wasn't a breakaway.
No hit confirmed by Foxy. Off into the corner. And now Scar.
Scar harassing.
Oh my
instant
goodness,
overhead
short hop
comes.
in the pressure.
UOH, the leap attack.
Why? What? Now I'm curious. What's the frame data on that versus just the... Is it back 3 or forward 3 that's the overhead? I'm just like not even paying attention to the voice anymore. Now I'm just curious about the game. Because I know that's unsafe. Back 3, yeah. Back 3 is 27 frames startup and -5, yeah, so it's not outright punishable. Whereas the hop attack is gotta be punishable. Yeah, it's -12, aka punishable. And it is 9 frames startup, but it's I think 14 frames to get up into the sky in the first place. So those are almost identical in terms of startup, but one is safe. So I don't really know why you would do hop attack there, but all right.
Take the throw out of Foxy. First positions, absolutely not. Just get people restanding with the check. And he's gonna get
Yeah, back 3 is better, right?
Oh my God.
He's still in big time.
Well, yeah, he was. I mean, for sure, you're right. He was definitely in just like I'm freestyling, just doing stuff mode, 100%.
Here.
100 damage.
He did it again.
Scar gonna be able to pull us off. Are we going the distance from Foxy? Only 100 health is gonna tell. No breakaway from Foxy. Any hit out is gonna be it, and it's gonna be Scar. 3-2.
Well, I wasn't actually listening to myself or Aquaman. I was just thinking about the match. So let's go back.
After 4 straight rounds losing.
And a change of a character. This is what it's all about.
That's so annoying. I get hit by that too, dude. You're paying attention to whether he's going to teleport. You're trying to neutral duck and walk. Yada yada. All of a sudden, Spear is like the best that Spear's ever been, and he's that happens to me too.
Position. Try to Oki with the throw. Beautiful wake up jump by Foxy. That is a phenomenal read. The first position.
And he's got the corner control. And oh, there you go. He knew where he was. It wasn't much damage, though. There wasn't a breakaway.
No hit confirmed by Foxy. Off into the corner. And now Scar.
Scar harassing.
Oh my goodness, short hop in the pressure.
UOH, the leap attack.
There's the take the throw out of Foxy. First positions, absolutely not. Just get people restanding with the check. And he's gonna get beautiful.
He's in trouble by the drop. He's still in big time trouble here.
100 damage. Is Scar gonna be able to pull us off? Are we going the distance from Foxy? Only 100 health is gonna tell. No breakaway from Foxy. Any hit out is gonna be it, and it's gonna be Scar. 3-2.
Just Reborn is just some crazy crap, man.
Scar diving through Cassie right there. As soon as he went to Scorpion, the entire matchup changed. It was 2-0. In fact, it was 4 straight rounds for Foxy Grandpa, and then after that, everything was Scar.
It's definitely worse to deal with Reborn online, but it's just a weird design. I mean, it's not like a brand new design for MK. It's just always frustrating to deal with. Are mercies allowed at turning? Yeah, for sure. But that'd be. Can you imagine if Scar did that right here? Not safe. I would not. He could have. You shouldn't.
Very impressive. Switch the Scorpion 3 straight. Reverse 3-0 to start off our top 8 bracket. Congratulations to Scar. He's going to move on to winners finals, where he is going to be guaranteed top 3 UltraDavid.
Listen to this poor guy's voice.
Going to be guaranteed top 3 UltraDavid.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is a great position to already be in for himself. Already guaranteeing himself top 3, just like you said. Nice work right there by Scar. Looked great.
So I guess that's it, man. I mean, I'm happy about my commentary for the most part. There were just a couple of things that I could have done better. Well, probably more than just a couple, but in terms of things that were worth pointing out, I only had a couple of notes, and that was good. That's what I remembered the set being like. I remember doing well on commentary, feeling that it went well. My other feeling was that while I was doing a few of the things that I wanted to switch up, yeah, I'm sure you will get your vengeance, dude. I'm not worried about you. You will be good. While I was doing a few of the things for sure, I was doing the breathing stuff, definitely. I was not sounding monotonous, or trying not to sound monotonous. I did some of the narrative flourishes, a gnat on the other side of the screen, right? Like there's some of these things that I was doing. You know, I didn't feel in the set that I was kind of doing the joking around stuff very often that I wanted to do, but that was an intentional decision, because I remember thinking about that during the set, during the commentary, thinking like, you know, I'm not really like, I'm thinking of stupid, funny things to say, but I'm not doing it. Should I be? I remember having this like internal monologue and deciding that I probably shouldn't switch it up. That was probably good, because I didn't want to do all the things at once, and I felt like the other things were going well, and I didn't want to like toss something else into the mix and kind of overcomplicate things for myself. So I think that was all. I think that was fine. And on top of that, like this situation is a little more. I don't think it lends itself terribly well to like screwing around. Now, I don't want to always be like, I want to have some of that personality in all of my commentary from now on, but I guess I was okay with not doing it as much this time. I think it came fine. I think it came out fine regardless. So, but that's like a note for another day. So CEO is this coming weekend. I'll be commentating there. I'm going to be doing both Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter commentary, which I'm very excited for. And I'm going to be trying to do these things still. So when you listen to the commentary, you know, if anybody watching this and you hear me screwing it up, feel free to tweet. Like, let me know. I'm probably noticing it myself, but maybe I'm not. And I would rather realize that I'm not if I'm not. I'm going to try to be doing it, but, you know, we'll see how that goes. So I'm sure I'll see some of you in Daytona. Hopefully I'll see nobody in Daytona, but I'll see you in the venue. Probably shouldn't go to Daytona itself. But I'll see you in the venue, and then in the hotel, and in the short walk between the two. Well, thanks, y'all. I appreciate that. I try to take it seriously. I wasn't for a while. I used to do commentary on commentaries all the time, and then I didn't for like probably 3-4 years, a long time. And then I have been thinking about it more again over the last year. So, you know, yeah, I'm trying to take it seriously again. Let me know if you think it's going okay. But thanks for hanging out, everybody, especially a couple of UK folks. Jeez. It's already nighttime for you. Wow. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for hanging out. I have set up the stream, as you could see, and I hope that it looks okay. I have wrong side. I have the Patreon and Twitch subscribers down there. I hope that that's cool. I hope that nobody thinks that that's like invasive to have their name out there, but if you do, let me know and I'm happy to take it off. If you would like to support the stream more, you can do so on both of our Patreon and our Twitch, which are subscribed, which are on the same page you're watching right now. So let me know if that's cool. We'll definitely be doing things. Hey man, I'd love to hang, Rockerai. That'd be cool. I mean, I was in London in 2006. That was 1,000 years ago. That's so long ago. Hope things are well. But all right, everybody, check this out too as I leave. I think this is pretty sick. Thanks, everybody. Oh man, I gotta make a like outro though. That's wrong. It's not starting.
Check it out now. Yeah, check it out, yo. Yo, check it out now. Third strike, yo. got your options, so pick the right thing. Some choices to make and mad records to bring. I'm just hooked on it. Down bodies who want it. I don't know where you got your skills from. Jump off it, bring it on. Any opponent or contender, no one can stop this with guns and objects. As far as I'm concerned, yo, it's only one topic. Joining street fighters from bare hands to toxic. You're an average warrior, I be the master. I can teach you how to fight and move faster. One false move, kid, that be disaster. I beat you endless and continue the day after. Street Fighter 3, that's right, the third chapter. This game's for real, no lies or no actors. Pick your character, don't wanna represent your life. You stomping anybody, so make your choice right.
Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yo, one box can leave you messed up and fractured. Block these uppercuts, they may leave you captured. May the best fighter win and win again. Battle to the top until his life ends. But if his life ends and he starts to decay, may one of his street soldiers avenge me.
See you talking to the game, couldn't be talking to me. I got enough to beat and more soldiers to bury. You know we just clicked in and made you realize this game is twice as hard. You see that with your own eyes. You're on the way to choose your type of life, cause you gotta. I tell you from now, the fight over be the hotter. I don't think you want this one, just practice.